the last hit point hero, and you just saw the official, super dope, proper nerdy made with the excellence and skill we expect from the most proper and best of all of us. A wonderful new introduction. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for being here on TPK Roleplay. Over the course of the next several weeks, we are going to be working our way through the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure module, Rime of the Frostmaiden. We hope that while you are here, you enjoy your stay, have a good time, and, well, have as much fun as we do. The way up is one thing, but the way down another. What happens when problems are bypassed rather than faced? What happens if not all are as understanding as you might think? First and foremost, no attempt to make this story child appropriate has occurred. It is a tale of cold isolation, alien incursion, and self-centered divinities. This actual play stream contains adult language, descriptions of violence and light gore, scary images, and generally speaking, a great deal of cold. Our players are here to warm the night. Safety tools are in place for the players, but you as a viewer do not have such a luxury. If you know of any sensitivities to the listed topics, please keep a teleportation spell prepped and readied. Barring that ready action, kick back, relax, keep all heads, hands, paws, and claws inside the stream at all times. Slap that follow button. To join the wonderful world of TPK Roleplay, click the Discord link. And to all of you in chat helping me out, I've adjusted a few things, so let me know if they have helped out or not. Click the Discord link that will spontaneously appear in chat at any moment, I am certain. And, above all else, be good. That's the rule. Be good. With no other announcements in mind... Oh, the Discord link. So Niffer is amazing with the Discord link. It's perfectly timed every time. With no other announcements in mind, you may not know these amazing players and their characters, so let's change that. Everyone here will say hello, introduce themselves and their character, plug other shows or projects they're participating in, games they play, and the question of the night is, what is a regret that your character has? There are few things more fun than dipping into backstory that may or may not come up. So, we are going to use that as a way to touch base a little bit. So I'll boost myself again. How about that far? And we'll see if that helps. I appreciate it, chat, so very much. So let me know if that is where I need to be following all my dits and dots. Oh, one more announcement. All right. Yes, I have 2 of the cameras in the wrong place. How'd that happen? Yes, but they are... Ooh. No. I don't know why they were like that. Alright, I got that. That works. Got the I wanted to make sure everyone could be seen. That, that it was my secret plan all along. And I have a yellow line to get rid of under Nif. Ooh, tech. Oh, so that's... Yep, that makes perfect sense, because I didn't think that it was there. It was part of the plan. It was part of the plan that went wrong and sideways, but then fixed it. So, I think we're good. Everybody hear me? Haven't heard... Oh, no.
We haven't been trying to
Yeah,
talk.
we haven't
We've all had ourselves muted.
Hello.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
What up?
Hi.
They've said stuff now.
We've
Purple.
been uncharacteristically
Okay.
quiet.
We're good.
Oh, no.
We exist.
Yes.
No. So...
Slightly less chatty than last time. We're being quiet children.
Apparently, when I adjusted volumes, I accidentally clicked the mute comms button, which is all of their voices. You know, sometimes
it's quiet. That's all.
Sometimes it's good to start out like this. So now that everyone can be heard, everyone sound good? Purple Phil, how we sounded? I think we're good. I thought they were just being reverent to the DM. Yeah,
given respect, given our love.
I
That's really funny.
Appreciate the thought. Oh, Al, hello.
Credit.
Yeah.
So, a second Al. We have two Als. Sorry, Al.
Oh,
Double L.
hi.
We
Al
have-
squared, Al prime. I'll take either.
we have local Al and over the pond Al. So wonderful having everyone here. Okay, so it's time for there were hamsters. No, see, that's the thing. The hamsters eat the wires. I don't know if you know that, but the TPK hamsters go straight for the wires. You got to flush them out. It's awkward. It's a whole thing.
It's intentional, I think. Honestly, they're malicious. I feel like the hamsters.
Well, see, it's all for the chat interaction. That's really what it's for. It's for the chat interaction.
Part of the plan.
It's part of the plan.
Of the plan.
These are big brain moves. The big brain
5D
moves. So, all right. Now that we have all of that out of the way, and I have unmuted the rest of the party, we shall go on to our introductions for the evening. Starting to my left and up one square in the middle right column. Arriving straight off the jet from Get Taught Town, he's got the books and the looks, proving time after time that knowledge is power. It's T.
Yo. Hi, I'm T. I am sleepy today. I have he, him pronouns and they, them pronouns, and I run Brom. He's a human paladin. He follows Torm, of course, as all generic paladins do. Not that he's terribly generic. And his greatest regret, I think, is not spending enough time with his brother before he left, because now he's not sure if he's ever going to see him again or the rest of their family.
Brom going dark. It's all right. I'm sure you'll meet again one day. I haven't gotten close. Oh well, Brom did get bit pretty hard by a crag cat. Well, we'll have to wait and see.
And also almost got KO'd by the goblins, which was
that's
sad.
true too. That's true too. So that is twice out of 6 sessions. So, well, we'll see how it goes.
Made him even more reflective of his own mortality.
Perfect. It's the way it should be. In the upper right corner, in our red corner this evening, built from talent honed by practice, certain to show that it's all fun and games until it's time for the going to get down, it's Al.
Oh, hey. I thought you were going to say someone else, so I was typing. My name's Al Lucart. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm a tabletop game illustrator, and I play Mirth, the copper dragonborn bard. His pronouns are he, him, and Mirth is a runaway from the circus who's on a quest to follow this treasure map to its conclusion in Icewind Dale. Party boy here has very few regrets. He has done things that he should regret, and this sparkly little dude, I don't know. You'd have to get him have a couple pina coladas and ask him if he really has any regrets, because he'd tell you no.
Perfect.
My guy.
Perfect. Now I have lost my intro. In the upper left corner, wearing the bright pink shorts and the grin that knows they'll win. Some say dice gremlin, but the truth is they are a dragon with a horde of click-clacks always ready to roll. It's Niffer Niff.
This is my horde of click-clacks. Yes, you're right. It's wonderful. Hi. Now I'm just gonna hug it for the intro. This is great. I'm Niffer Niff, and I am a Jasper's Game Day ambassador, and I'm playing Lane, yep, I almost said a different character. My bad. Whew, I'm tired tonight, y'all. But I'm playing Lane, the Hexblade Warlock. Yikes. And biggest regret besides literally all of the flubs I just did in the past 30 seconds would be, I don't know, that he has to be out here instead of with his family. He just, regrets telling a certain Fae not to shove it. Yeah.
Wonderful. Perfect. Working around in the middle left column. Entering the ring with the strut that won't give up is a champion in the making, the unstoppable, unflappable, irreplaceable. We salute you because we are all about rocks.
You're giving me too much praise. Hi, everybody. My name is Rox. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Rox the Wizard. Pronouns he, him. I will be playing Neo, Fire Ganassi, also he, him. Good boy, about to turn sad boy, already turned sad boy, little superhero Neo, who is, he was looking for a great and fun adventure, and I think his biggest regret is living such a sheltered and just easy life now instead of knowing the hardness and struggles that the world was going through, because now he doesn't know what to do.
Wonderful. Great thing to reflect on is realizing just how much you missed being protected. And last but not least, sporting the Twitter blue gloves stained in blood with an undefeated professional tweet down record of 28-0, the socio-statistician with a mission, it's Foxy.
I'm like a champion boxer, man. I like that. What's going on, everybody? It's Young Foxy, aka your favorite Fox, aka your favorite SoundCloud rapper. If you're looking to find me in things besides this, obviously, you can catch me on Twitter at Young Foxy, YUNG_FOXXI. If you're looking for anything else roleplay related from me, you can find me at Neon Lights Roleplay on Twitch. It's the account I'm going to be in chat with, talking the whole time. Today, I'll be playing Azarus, the Warforged Juggernaut fighter, I guess now Rune Knight. And I think if Azarus has one regret, it's just that because of a lifetime of warfare, he has killed an uncountable number of people. So many over such a long period of time that most of them he can't even remember. And that's probably his biggest regret now, is that it feels weird to have ended so many lives that you can't even keep the memories close anymore.
Slightly disturbing.
Make new memories.
Yep. New happy memories. That's what's needed here.
I have friends now, so there's that.
Perfect.
You've been adopted by force. It's great. You're
You've been adopted by force.
You're like a centuries-old robot. It's okay. You're my kid now. This is
Yes,
fine.
I'm in. I've been adopted, y'all.
You're being adopted. Please do not resist.
Adopted by force.
Perfect.
That's my favorite.
I love that.
And as I said mere moments ago, I am your humble dungeon master. You may call me the last hit point hero. I use he/him pronouns, and it is time for us to venture back into Icewind Dale. Now, typically, I have Ol'Bitey put together a bit of a summary. Incredibly helpful fish. Ask a few questions. He pays close attention, even from his position on the wall. Gives pretty good summaries. But I couldn't find him. Ol'Bitey has gone missing for reasons I don't know, don't understand. I don't have any clue what might be going on. So I'm gonna have to investigate that in the next 2 weeks and see if we can figure out where Ol'Bitey went. I will have to just do my best, I guess, to summarize instead. Well, the party, they went to Targus. Yes, Targus, that's the name. And found, the old friend, Lane's old friend, and had to go save Lane's old friend's husband, Garrett, who was taking some adventures up the mountain, and everyone walked out there and climbed up there. And when they got to the top, they found him hurt. And then they went all the way to the top, and they found the sage at the top, who was a rock that looked like a person. And then also found out that Braum speaks Yeti. Oh, Braum speaks Yeti. Yep.
Oh,
Braum speaks
God.
Yeti.
That's
Brom still doesn't know why he speaks Yeti, but he's not gonna think about it too hard right
I
now.
literally
Saved our
forgot
skins.
about
Do we
that.
really need to know why? Like,
Yep.
I mean, but yes, continue.
Blue Boots was found. Blue Boots is no more. Is as blue as his boots, I suppose would be the insensitive way to talk about that. Braum found a small music box in the arms of a second victim that looked quite a bit like Sabine.
I forget. Did we actually take that box with us?
I believe Braum did. Did you,
Okay,
Braum?
Brom took that and any identifying papers to help
Yay,
out,
good.
and then we buried the people.
Yep.
And unfortunately, it's northern rights because it's frozen ground. But
Burial by exposure is a legitimate burial in many cultures. So, there was a group hug, and almost a simultaneous high five that froze in mid jump. Wait, no, that didn't happen. Just the hug.
Yep.
Just the hug. So I think that's everything. Did I get everything? Ol'Bitey's much better at this than me. Okay, good.
yeah,
Well, I suppose that that is exactly where we will pick up. The stone sage watches silently as a group of adventurers hug on its mountaintop. Many have made their way to its peak. Many have sought its wisdom. None seem to hear its reply. Harsh winds roar up the screaming gorge nearby. Standing in each other's arms in the bitter cold, you start to feel warmth. Or perhaps it's just a trick of a moment's peace. Not knowing what to make of it, knowing that you have Garrett, who's been injured, that eventually needs to go home, and the halfling as well, in her high slit dress, who certainly doesn't want to be on this mountaintop any longer. I suppose we ought to find a way to get everyone home. So that is where we will pick up tonight. You are all still on the mountaintop, and the mountain is yours.
is there anything else of interest on the top of the mountain now that we're here?
while we're here.
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
All right. Brom is going to look around before they decide to leave.
I have the dice box on the wrong thing. An 8.
Nope.
So
Woof.
Braum takes a look around at the mountaintop, and you find some loose rocks out of place. You knock them away, and you find where previous mountain climbers dispose of all their refuse.
Nice.
There you
Awesome.
Nice.
Love that.
go. Perfect.
Well, if there's nothing else to be said here, I suppose eventually letting his friends down from the large group hug he's maintaining in his arms, Azarus will kind of just like return to stasis and kind of turn to his friend and say, do we have an alternative course now, friends? He says friends kind of awkwardly because, again, the term is a bit new.
Aw. Why you gotta be so cute?
Oh.
Are there any other ways down the mountain besides how we came up?
Garrett will look and say, well, unfortunately, that is the safest way up. It's the way I've been using for years. Not pleasant in places, but we get there.
We should probably start the journey back down.
Well,
Does the biological require any rest?
it is. He looks up and takes a look at the stars. Well, there's only a few more hours before the aurora across the sky.
Um,
Would we rather stay the night here or try and make part of the way down? We won't be able to make it all the way down before the aurora comes, and quite frankly, there's something uncomfortable about those lights in the sky above me.
But we'll have a great view from here, versus snapping open a bedroll and getting tents starting to get ready.
I would suggest maybe finding a cave a little lower down just to protect us from some of the worst elements, perhaps.
I knew we kept you around for some reason.
Well,
Or
Lane,
starting to investigate for a cave.
Usually, you would be right. Unfortunately, the only cave of any size is currently occupied.
Oh no.
And I am not certain that we want to, we probably don't want to push that any further than we already have.
Let's not.
Valid.
So,
Perimeter seems safe. We shall remain here.
that should be fine. We can hole up against those rocks over there. There's not enough snow for a full igloo, but you know, I still have a winter weather tent in my bag, and
Why do that when we can
Oh,
do this?
are there,
And Mark is gonna take out his little gnome sculpture thing. Can we use that?
you can.
Okay. How does it look when Mirth pulls the thingy, the ripcord, to inflate it? What happens?
So you have in your hands a small, about dollhouse-sized house on a nice green hill, and all you have to do is toss it on the ground. So
Polly Pockets.
Bright tosses it. It lands, slides, spins for a little bit, and goes
Called
very.
him Bright.
Mirth.
Called
Sorry.
him Bright again.
You're
I
doing
don't know
that thing that
why.
parents do when they forget their kids' names and they
No.
start switching them.
I don't know
That's
why
that's
it
your
is.
eldest child's name. Thank
I
you
don't
very
know
much.
why it is that Mirth becomes Bright. I really don't.
Because
sorry.
they're both virtue names.
That's probably it. Yeah. So, Mirth, I almost said Bright thinking about it. So Mirth tosses the house down onto the ground. It slides along the rocks, snow, gets close to the edge, stops,
Oh,
and
no.
then slowly begins to grow. It doesn't make any sound. It just grows.
Oh,
and
no capsule course
grows
like Dragon
and
Ball Z?
grows.
Oh.
It starts going off the back edge, but it doesn't fall backwards. It seems to support its own weight and hangs off the side of the top of Kelvin's cairn. Is this small log cabin with wisps of smoke coming out of the chimney. It is sitting on a green hill with a handful of wildflowers.
That sounds nice.
Well, that's
We should have done this earlier.
Where did
I was saving it for a special occasion,
that
Mirth says,
come
trying
from?
to make a flower crown.
how did
Brom just kind of stares at it and then decides not to look a gift horse in the mouth. They probably could have made a humbler shelter, but it's already, the deed is done. So
Garrett
just
will look
looks at
over
it.
at Lane? What? What is this?
You remember the stories that Dameron and I would tell you about our boss, right?
Yes?
He's been getting weirder, or they've been getting weirder. They like to leave presents now.
Okay. Well,
Yeah. Sometimes they're good.
that's good. That's good. All right. All right. So this is safe then.
I mean, are they ever safe?
Great. All right. I'm not going in first.
I will go in first. Get over yourself, you baby. I give him a swat on his shoulder because we're friends.
Azrael will move past and just say, I will establish a perimeter, and then kind of begin trotting the outside for a bit just to make sure the zone's clear.
Okay. As you start walking around it, you get to the side of it, and you can see that about 3/4 of this is hanging off of the cliff. It's not in
It's
any.
been a while since softball, guys.
How much does this thing weigh overall?
Well, no, that's
like-
what's strange. It's solid. It's not going to fall. It's not tilting. It's not tipping. It brought its own ground and is just hanging part of the way off.
Oh, magic. Cool.
And then we all get inside.
Just saying,
What's
maybe
inside?
yank it backwards a little bit. I'm a pretty strong dude.
It does not. It does not
Murph
move
is
any
going to
more
look
than a
at
hill
Lane.
would move.
Okay,
And
well,
say-
I'm not moving any hills anytime soon, so.
Mirtha's gonna look over at Lane and say, "Can you carry me across the threshold?"
I'm married.
Well, I didn't say you had to commit to anything. I just want to feel special sometimes.
Azareth
Rom.
just scoops up Mirth and starts walking inside.
Mirth swoons cutely and is
Yep.
delighted.
Neil's just gonna follow behind them.
Rob follows behind them, like doesn't make any comments. Just kind of like peeks inside the cabin over their shoulder.
Oh God, with a Brady Bunch.
We really are.
or
New
possibly
intro.
possibly the cast of WandaVision.
Oh no, that's even worse. Great show though.
You
Yes,
open the
great
door,
show.
and inside this cabin is a lot of what you would expect to find in kind of a camp cabin of sorts. There are 3 sets of bunk beds. There's a small couch. There is a small, simple stove, a table, all of what you'd expect to find in a more or less one-room cabin. Perilou will look around and say, "Well, where's my room?"
Even Mirth gives her a look when she says that, like, excuse you.
I just point to one of the lower bunks.
Azareth will kind of just look down at the halfling and just say, "Fear not, I do not require a bed."
A bed? But what? Unbelievable. And she will stomp over and lay in one of the bottom bunks. It's
We've
Rom
all
starts-
camped before. If you need your privacy, we can turn around, all right?
She just scoffs at you. Slides underneath some quilt that's on the bed and doesn't say anything else.
Out of character question.
Yes.
Is she a magic user or is she just the fancy lady that we rescued?
So she is a halfling, and even though it is ridiculously freezing cold, she is wearing a very high slit on her dress without any kind of leggings or anything underneath. What she said when you met her was that Yandala keeps her warm. Other than that, no one really knows anything about her.
But Garrett was like the tour guide that would take people up the mountain, so she's probably just not an experienced person who is trying to get up there. Is that what we would have deduced? Or is she also a tour guide person?
She's not a tour guide.
'Kay.
So she would have been part of the expedition
I don't
to go
like
to
her
the
attitude.
top.
A tourist, in other words.
tourist.
She is a tourist.
She's a tourist, yes.
I don't really like her attitude personally. I'm saying I'm not a big fan. Yeah, like after she like scoffs at Lane, Azareth will kind of like detect like the slight spike in the shift in Lane's face a bit and just be like, detecting hostility, almost like just like slightly shifting towards the sword a little bit, just a little.
Oh boy.
Brom shakes his head and starts taking his armor off. It's that kind of mixture of like when snow and water gets in like the inside part of your armor, and then
Ew.
also gets like cold and frozen and mixes with your sweat. It's not very pleasant. I like taking the padding off when it gets like that. So he's taking off his armor and then peeling off the gross like half frozen padding. And his
This is
wool
going-
socks, which are nasty.
Oh god. Ew, I just thought about that.
I know, right? All of you guys have nasty wool socks. All right, anyways,
Yeah.
except for
Not all of
except for
us.
you, Azareth. Except
Except
for
for
you.
me! Except for me, I have
False.
scaly little claw feet.
False. I have
Word.
prestidigitation. Thank you very much. Everything of mine is always clean.
I don't wear
Right,
shoes
everyone
or
else.
socks.
My foot.
You can feel
But-
Perilou's disdain from nearby.
Okay, so really quickly, I want to just be a background person while everybody role plays, but Mirth is going to smile and kick off his foot pads. He has like these funky strapped things to cover his foot pads and everything, and he kind of kicks them off in front of a fire and then plops himself in the corner, and he's going to very quietly start just finger picking on a lute and making a pleasant, chill, everybody don't fight background sound. That's all I was gonna say.
Everybody fights.
Yes.
When Braum is down to these lower layers, which are God, which is mostly just like a pair of they're not really pants, I guess they're leggings, and like a short tunic. He'd go and sit by Neo and pat his shoulder.
Neo's gonna go over to one of the lower bunks, and he's gonna lay down.
Oh, am I gonna get stuck with top bunk?
Garrett says,
Yes.
absolutely.
No, that was Niffer, not Lane. Lane is stoic. He doesn't complain. I do all the time.
Braum kind of taps Neo's shoulder very gently.
He doesn't turn around.
Kid.
Are you all right? Yes.
You just like slowly see a thumb just like raise over his shoulder.
He shakes his head.
That
like
means you're not fine.
yeah, even though Neo's not facing him, he shakes his head very slowly, like, no, that's not a real answer. He thinks about what he's going to do, and then looks down and says, "Do you need a hug?"
No, thank you. I need to think for a little bit.
Okay. If there's anything you need to talk about, you can talk to me about it.
Thank you.
And he kind of like pat him gently. He wants to do more, but he also wants to respect his wishes. So he just kind of like goes back to his bed and kind of lays down awkwardly. Hopefully the bed's big enough. Hopefully the beds are big.
Oh no.
Great. I think Mirth is also tall, right?
Mirth is
Mirth's-
like a skinny, long lad.
Yeah, Lane is 6'5", so we're just all too tall for these beds.
Everybody's got at least like 6.5 inches of feet hanging off
Oh
the
well,
end.
it's a good thing I don't sleep because I'm like
no.
7'6", so
You make
He's
me
got like
feel
his
so
whole
safe.
legs. WandaVision flashbacks. No. All right, kids. Oh, Neo's comfortable. Neo's doing great. And I guess
That's
if
all
they
that
like,
matters
He'll
for
be
real
fine.
though.
How tall he is.
Priorities.
Perilou's like turned sideways in the bed and still fits fine.
good old halflings.
Garrett will be walking around inspecting everything. Open the cabinets, find some makings to make stew, and starts to make a stew on the stove.
Sweet. Right, I don't eat. Never mind.
he can think about eating.
Yeah,
Eating is
it's like, oh wait,
delicious.
food sounds great. Oh wait, I don't eat.
Poor thing.
Oh no.
All right. Well, Azarus, recognizing as it begins to get, I'm assuming it's like getting later in the evening now.
So, yep, essentially the auroras start to crisscross across the sky, and if you watch it from here, you can see it as you can almost anywhere in Icewind Dale. It starts far off to the west. You see the green glow begin to emanate and start to snake across, creating lines of green that bleed light covering the sky. And even though it's perhaps a little bit brighter than it is during the not aurora time, it still is dark and cold.
Well, recognizing the dark, Azarus will turn and decide to take up the watch. So he'll kind of just like head back towards the door, stand outside and guard. I don't sleep, so might as well just, go guard mode for a bit. Is there a porch, or am I just like outside of the door?
Yep, there's a porch with a rocking chair.
Cool. I am on the porch, not in the
with
chair,
a rocking chair?
just standing
I love
outside,
it.
just standing there. Good old statue mode again, just standing for a bit.
Sure.
Taking some time to recharge. Power down everything, but like my sensors and everything, so I can still be aware if any threats pop up. Good old Sentinel's Rest, whatever they call it.
Yep.
Yay.
I want to go out for a little bit because I, like 2 episodes ago, rescued a little alms box from Braum when they were about to go climbing. And so I still have little Bubby.
Mhm.
So I would like to just kind of let him out a little bit and maybe like sit in the rocking chair, because you said there was a rocking chair and that just seems like a very lame move. It's just like old man bones it into
Respect.
the rocking chair a little bit and just kind of like open the box carefully so that he doesn't like run away or whatever, and just like maybe talk to little Bubby a little bit about like, oh, see, look over there, there's the constellations and da da da, whatever.
The first thing you notice is that it is comfortably warm outside of this cabin. It's something everyone noticed when they went in, but sitting in the chair it becomes much more obvious. It's, even though it was well below zero, probably -10 or so with wind outside of this hill, just stepping on the hill it warmed up significantly, and at this point you feel like it's probably a comfortable 65-degree evening. So
Nice.
Bubby looks up.
I am a gentleman, so I will tap on the lid of the box first. give him his time to collect himself. And also I'm gonna look over at Azarus and just be like, not hostile. And then I will open the box a little bit.
There's a brief flash of green in Azarus' eyes as he recognizes the non-hostile.
You open the box, and
Hey,
Bubby's
Bubby.
straw winter coat that he has on is kind of wrapped around just their waist, and they have a small thimble or some other item in there full of some steaming liquid, and just looks up at you and waves.
Hey. Just thought you maybe wanna look around or anything. The lights are out. Just
Bubby
kind of
was- try
try and make the little wind noise at him. I don't know what I'm. And then actually in character, Elaine's like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Bubby will.
And I like turn, but it's warm in here. We got ourselves a nice little house for the night, so you know.
They'll nod, and they don't have a face. They can't smile.
Yeah.
They just have those two
That's all
dots,
right.
and
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
pouring this warm liquid over the bottom of their porcelain mask that makes their face, and it just runs down.
Delightful. Yeah, Azarus, we have a chwinga.
Sweet.
He's great.
Azarus is still kind of resting, but he'll definitely recognize the new character. Like you'll even see like a slight tilt of his head as he recognizes it, and then kind of tilt back.
This is little Bubby.
Identified, Lil Bubby.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan. I like him. I like him already. He's a fan.
Look,
So
everyone
cute.
loves him.
Everyone loves him. He's a
Bub-
little treasure.
Bubby
Protect
will
him at all
stand up on
costs.
his little bed and stick
This
his
is your
head
prime directive.
over the edge of the box and kind of toast with the small cup thing in its hand, and the sound that it makes, so that Azarus hears it. It sounds as though the wind is blowing. So just a.
Ooh, exciting.
Anything
Yeah.
else before we turn in for the evening?
No, I just wanted that little moment because
Got it.
he wasn't out at all last episode, and the audience needs to be reminded that he exists.
Hey,
Also, he's
tiny thing.
cute.
Hey, everyone, remember this cute thing we have?
So cute.
That's
So
all.
ridiculously cute. I mean, to be fair, we were in combat like the whole time.
Yeah,
last
I mean,
time,
but
so,
whatever.
well,
But yeah,
Mhm.
after a little bit, I'll take little Bubby inside and be like, okay, you're going back in the box, and just like put him back. And I assume all of the beds are taken except probably a top bunk one. So Lane will just climb up on top to a top bunk.
Sounds good.
my least favorite, especially in these cabins because all the heat goes to the top, so you're like roasting.
I mean, I'm always cold and I'm also normal size, so I personally love top bunks, but I also know Lane as like an older fellow. Like
How
he's
old
not
is Lane?
old. He's like mid-30s.
That's like my age.
Look,
Oh
Oh my god.
I work with a bunch of
R.I.P.
mid-30s who are always like, "Oh, my old bones," and I'm like, "Okay, sure."
Real
You're
old.
I mean,
30-year-olds who have children. 30-year-olds who have children are angsty. Okay, like if you have multiple children like Lane does, you're tired.
R.I.P.
All right.
Nipper, I am literally the same age as Lane.
Do you have two small annoying children?
No, because
Okay.
I make different life choices, but
Yeah.
yes. But yeah, I'm-
Also, like, hey, I'm early 20s, but I have 30 small children, so I also am old bones. Okay.
You're old. He's old at heart. Do not say old man again. People already.
Yeah,
call
he's
me
not
grandpa.
old.
Sorry, not old
Yeah,
man.
no
You're
more,
right, but
no
he's
more.
he's got old man bones.
That's fair. He can be 7
Fine.
strength, and I accept that.
Look, he is 7
Yes.
strength. Okay,
7
want to
strength.
talk about
And
it.
that is okay. That reason is fine.
The evening passes without. Yep, your. I had thought we could rely on Purple Phil to clip Nif's.
Yep, there it
shit
is. I'm
there.
sorry.
No.
Sorry to all old men and to all not old people.
Yes, please.
In my head,
to-
he is so much older than how old he actually is. So
It's
he is an
it's
old
time
man
to
to
make
me.
him like 55. Okay, like
He
Let's
is
retcon that real
76
quick.
years
I,
old.
I promise you,
You've seen some stuff.
even my own father like gets insulted when I call him old man, and he's like 57 now. So
Oh,
yes,
So
believe me, the people will be insulted no matter how old they are, unless of course they're like 60, in which case they'll probably be like, yeah, sure.
Azarus, go ahead and roll me a
Anyways.
d20 because we have
Old.
aged Lane to 70s and we have
Look.
de-aged Neo to 8.
for
So
every
we're-
year
so
that
we're-
Neo grows
Damn it,
down,
Neo.
Lane grows up.
Neo's now 8 years old,
Actually
4
funny.
feet tall.
4 feet
Oh, what?
Every
tall.
time.
No problem. All right.
Every time Neo grows younger, Lane grows older.
By the end of the campaign, he's unborn.
And Lane
Lane's-
is like a grandfather.
Like a Benjamin Button.
Wow.
It's just like an equivalent exchange of age.
Exactly. Oh no, we're Dorian Gray. Oh no.
Oh no!
I am the
Please age
portrait.
the players 20 years. Yeah. All of you wake up 20 years older. Okay.
And Neo's sitting there happy.
That's just life. I'm sorry.
The evening passes uneventfully. Zaris standing watch out front. You can hear the wind blowing Zaris, but there's no cold that touches you. Everyone else is warm and comfortable.
I'm sure I'm hearing voices in that wind.
The Aurora move their way across the sky. Zaris can see them head off to the east and compress down where the sun would rise, but stop it from doing so. The day is new, and it is yours for the trip down. Garrett will grab some of the stew from last night that he made, start putting it in bowls for breakfast. Look to everyone, say, so the dogs were all right down at the base, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were
They're
just
doing
fine.
well. They're taking care of themselves.
They're well trained.
They are excellently trained. We've worked very hard on them, and they've responded well to the training, so that's good. They should be fine until we get down tonight, later this day today. But where are we going to go? Perilou will
Where should we
speak
go?
up and, well, you have to take me back to Caer-Konig. That's where I'm from, and that's where you need to take me. Garrett.
Immediately, Mirth thinks, we're not going to take you there. Where else can we go? Inside of his head. But then he pushes down that
Like-
childish thing and is like, that was a mean thing to think. So, out of character, we have... Can we... Or let me see if I have the map somewhere. Or could you show us the
Yeah.
map?
Yes, I
Yeah,
can
we
pull
do
up the
have
map.
the map.
To the
Thank
map!
you.
To the map.
I'm gonna get potato chips. I'll be right back.
To the chips!
Only to the chips.
Priorities.
To the cheap.
All right.
Alright, where are we now?
You are currently at Kelvin's Cairn,
That's pretty far.
which is here. And you are at the you're basically at the top of Kelvin's Cairn. Caer-Konig is closest. Garrett will say,
Yeah,
"Okay,
that's not far.
That makes sense.
so I'm
Alright.
not taking her cross country without a dog sled. It is a 16-hour walk back to Targus. It's only 5 hours to Caer-Konig. I think that's an option.
Yeah,
We
let's go to
could-
Caer-Konig.
Yeah.
Traversing these lands, as I understand it, is one small constellation point to another. Skipping towns, I mean, crag cats, frostbite, Don't get me wrong, the view could be gorgeous at night, but
No.
it's rough out here.
Hearing the voice of friends, and after exactly 7 or so hours passes, Azarus will power back on and then kind of come inside. It's a tall boy, so like the door frame, his upper horns will kind of like bash through the top of the door frame a little bit. Just, good morning, friends. I've restored power to my auxiliary systems. I should be more combat effective now.
That's nice. Good morning.
Oh my.
Ron salutes him a little bit as he's getting his armor on and finishing breakfast.
I'm never going to let Keegan hear the end of this. So the trip to Caer-Konig is just 5 hours. It should take about 4 hours to get down the mountain. So I think that we're good to go. Is there anything else you need before we leave, or should we just...
How do we pack this thing away?
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe we could just leave it here for someone else.
That sounds nice. We can do that.
It's definitely going to change the next trip up, that's for sure.
Yeah, and who really knows if these things are permanent anyways, right? You'll have to tell us next time you come up here, bud.
Oh God, what if someone's inside when it shrinks?
We'll put
It
up a
wouldn't be
sign.
the most dangerous part of this trip.
That's fair.
Yep, that's actually quite true.
True.
If nothing else, Garrett will start packing bags, getting his warm weather gear back on, and turn and stand at the door and see if everybody's ready or not.
If anyone wants to not carry their pack or take anything out of the house, feel free to lash it to Asper's back. He's got a pretty heavy carry capacity.
My boy.
There was a particularly nice chair you want to take down. Just, grab some rope, lash it there. It's all good.
Like a deadly butler.
Look at that. I'm just saying, it's a nice
Mule,
couch.
what up?
I'm just saying, it's a very nice
Absolutely
couch.
deadly.
We can get a good price on that couch. I'm just
That's a very nice couch.
We just have a yard sale in the middle of the time.
There is a laugh that Lane recognizes very quietly.
Oh, come on.
And you hear a voice in the back of your head, no one else can hear it, that says, better hurry or you'll take the small way down the mountain.
Yeah, sure. Take the furniture, whatever you want. Let's get going.
I think we should leave the furniture for any future people who want to consult the sage and sleep.
Azarus, who was already halfway into picking up the couch when Lane said take the furniture, we'll just slowly lower it back down. and just move away again.
All right. I head out to the door. Shoot, I do kind of really want to take the rocking chair though.
I'm just saying, take some rope, lash it to the back. We can listen.
I think it's gonna dissolve.
Lane
That's
is-
Yeah, it
probably a
absolutely
reality.
is. I'm headed out.
all of you head out to the top of Kelvin's Cairn, and Garrett starts leading you back down. It doesn't take too long before Perilou starts complaining, nor does it take too long before you return to near that cave where you were earlier, the one that's not far from the summit of the mountain. And as you pass, all of you can hear just quietly within.
Not our problem. Let's keep moving.
Not another yeti.
Brahm,
That's
as
the same
Second
Yeti.
that.
you're
For real.
walking by, you don't hear the growls. Instead, you hear what appears to be an argument of some kind. There is a deeper voice, distinct from what you heard before, saying, "Where's the food?" Another one saying, "You brought a goat. What else do you want?" "No, there was other food." It's gone. Don't worry about it. "What do you mean don't worry about it? Is it still on my mountain?"
Oh my god, run.
And
We're not
they,
sticking around.
Ron makes a gesture like, go, 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 go. Like he kind of like he's listening, but he doesn't want them to run because everyone's
No!
able to hear it, but he's gesturing like, get.
Garrett will kind of take notice and start leading the way. He is an experienced guide. All of you are able to make it down the mountain without going through another set of rolls. It takes 4 hours to descend, You make your way past the thin walkway not too far away, climb down a few places, with Garrett helping you tie the appropriate knots and show you where the appropriate handholds are. It really does feel more like a tourist experience than anything else. In fact, Garrett's kind of stuck in that mode, so every once in a while he'll point and he's like, yeah, that's tracks of a snow hare. If you're really hard on food, you can usually find one. As far as we know, they eat snow, which is weird, but is good because there's not really any grass around. The sun hasn't shone in 3 years.
They can also swallow each other whole and do frequently. I'm like just BSing facts that add on because I've heard this before and also have no chill.
Yep.
Others will just practice juggling, just make snowballs again, just give that another go.
Yeah.
Brom is just worried because, they got attacked twice on this damned mountain. Keeps his sword handy.
What's 3 attacks?
Kind of walks sure-footedly, to prevent slippage down the mountain, especially since he's wearing a fair amount of pretty heavy armor too.
There would be a lot
Garrett
of
wants
clanging if
to
you fell.
Try and cheer up the lady, the grumpy lady who's not suited for the weather. So he's going to be telling little jokes and things, and generally being a goofball, and not singing when everybody else does the shush, there be yetis. But after we're past that point, we'll probably take out the concertina and literally start concertina-ing while following Garrett's instructions.
So Perilou, for the most part, seems to just glance at you every once in a while, but generally, not really getting into it. And after the first hour, she will look up and say, "Why are you so damned happy?"
It's all a performance, darling. Would you rather me change the tune? And he kind of gives her like a, what songs do you like? I can also do really good silence.
Don't you know
Other people might appreciate me more.
anything more dignified? Something proper music.
Oh, okay. So, like this? And I think he's going to end up taking out the shittiest French horn that ever horned, that's bent because he hasn't played it in forever, and is going to start doing a really sickening rendition of Carol of the Bells that shouldn't even be able to be done on this. And he's going to be I don't know, following her directly behind, petty as shit, waiting for praise. Is this more your speed?
Man, I love it.
Not the best I've heard, but better than that drivel from earlier.
Mirtha's really surprised. Interesting.
I'm just saying, if you wanted me to, I could throw this chick.
Yeah, she's not designated friend.
She has not been designated non-hostile. I could throw her. I'm just saying.
She's been designated non-hostile since you joined this group because you were the one guarding them on the way up, Azaris.
Beans. I was gonna say I've probably been prestidigitating her mittens like I did for Sabine, but after that,
Let her be.
Assault her with minor inconveniences.
Exactly.
About 3 hours down is when she notices, because prestidigitation is a spell, and notice when you cast it. You'll feel a tug at the coat that you're wearing, Lane. Thank you for stopping that. My palms were getting sweaty.
Up to you. You are always allowed to ask for things.
Min's back. Put him back on. Do it right now.
And then you get to the bottom. Little boy and Garrett both just start running as they get down to the bottom, up to the rest of the dogs that have been remain there in their little homes that are set up for sled dogs when they're left behind. They've been eating out of the food that was within reach, and all of them just start barking happily.
At the puppers.
Garrett is literally rolling in 8 sled dogs at the moment, and then after a few moments of that play, he stands up and he snaps, and all of them freeze, go to a sitting attention position and. All right, it won't take me long to prepare this. Caer-Konig's a 5-hour walk. Can't carry enough weight for all of us to ride, so the dogs will just carry the gear.
Alternative plan. I could pull the sled.
Well, we might leave you behind if that's the case.
But we can walk as fast as you can pull us.
Oh, fair enough.
I appreciate
We all need
it,
the exercise. It's fine.
but
Thank you.
How does the
We'll be staying
cranky
fit.
lady react to dogs? Mirth is suspiciously. Also, he's wheezing because the air is thin, and he didn't calculate that into his crappy performance. So he's like, just like, you know. But I think after he like gives up on that, the horn is freezing. He can't breathe. He looks at the lady. Does she like dogs?
she's standing off. She doesn't.
She doesn't like
You could
dogs.
roll an insight check, Mirth.
Untrustable.
No,
Untrustable.
can't.
Untrustable.
No, she's the big bad.
Has to go.
She's the Frostmaiden.
Time to get rid of her.
Nailed
Got
it.
a one.
A
I'm
one.
just saying, it's not too late for me to throw her.
She seems completely indifferent. That's what you're getting
She
from
hates
her is
dogs.
indifference.
Like dogs. I'm just
It's
saying.
not too late.
I'm just
There is
saying.
no indifferent to dog. You either
No
love
one,
them
no
or
one would
hate
find
them.
the body. I'm just saying.
She
Yeah, in all the snow.
she walks over to the dog sled while Garrett is hooking up little boy and getting the rest of all the harnesses ready to go, and sits down on the sled, adjusts her skirt and the skirt of her dress, and relaxes in.
Like a little
What?
princess.
Garrett will nudge Lane at one point. This has been miserable.
And I just like sling my arm around, trying not to laugh that loud. You. This is why I don't work in public service.
Yeah. Well,
Brom kind of nods and makes a soft, like, sigh sound. Kind of goes to one side of the cart to help guard it. He readjusts his armor once they're down and kind of pats some of the snow and stuff that got stuck in his boots off before they start walking.
sounds good.
As a risk
Wrong,
to be at the
do
rear.
that.
Would you like prestidigitated socks?
Ooh.
Because apparently my talents are not wanted in other areas. So if you want dry socks, you can have them.
Gladly, he says, not elaborating on why.
I mean, you don't need to elaborate on why you want dry socks. Everyone
We
deserves
smelled 'em
dry
last
socks.
night.
Everyone deserves it.
Everyone deserves dry socks,
Barks.
except for that lady. That's Niffer. That's Niffer talking. Lane is.
I mean,
Actually
Got it.
points at her.
also, like, everyone who's like walked in deep snow knows that the terrible evil snow goes into your boots and then partially melts.
Okay, preschool teacher story side trail for like 2 hot seconds. A child just took off their boots today at school and just walked around in their socks in like 4 inches of snow.
Why?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
kids. Yeah, that's just a thing that happens
Seems right.
sometimes, honestly. Yeah, children.
Anyways,
Okay.
A couple
Yep.
notes. Mirth, you have a +2 that you can use for checks or saves, so hold on to that. Lane, you have advantage on a roll. It says next roll, but go ahead and save it. And I need a couple rolls of the dice. So Niffer, if you would roll me a D8. Al, if you'd be so kind as to roll me a D4. Rox, please, a D12. And then T, if you'd roll 2D4.
I rolled a 1.
I don't gotta roll
Okay.
for some reason.
I only need 4 dice rolled.
Oh, cool. I thought I was like, oh, I'm just excluded for this from whatever cool thing's happening. Oh,
3.
3 is
2.
Also, for people who like snack food, not a paid endorsement, but these are delicious.
Those are the-
Sponsorship.
Oh, cute.
Oh, they're so good.
Product
Okay,
placement.
I'm sorry.
That's what we need. And then Rob, you got a 4?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So it is about 11 in the morning. Garrett says it's a 4-hour walk. It'll be fine. He looks up at the sky. There's a few clouds. He says, hopefully we'll get to Caer-Konig before that comes. And
Bit of
What
blizzard.
would that be?
oh, it's definitely going to be a blizzard today. Yes.
Oh, fantastic. We love those.
Have you been in Icewind Dale long?
how long have I been in Icewind Dale? I don't think Azarus remembers how long he's been in Icewind Dale. Definitely for a long time, though, given it, you know.
Were you here earlier than when the sun was taken away? More than 3 years ago?
Oh, yeah, definitely way longer than that.
Yep. So, yep, you and anyone else had noticed, yeah, it blizzards quite often.
Sweet. Love it. All right. Well, blizzard incoming. Yeah, we should probably move fast.
We've got a few hours. It'll be close. We can try and push and make it to Caer-Konig before the blizzard hits. But it might be a bit rough. Everyone all right with that?
Let's do it.
Affirmative.
Sure.
Get me out of this cold, comes the voice from the sled.
Man, I'm just.
So
Neo.
I need...
Neo, you guys, I finally figured it out. You and Azarus can be like the kid and the robot from Giant Robo.
Oh, I was gonna say the Iron Giant. That
Yeah,
also was
too.
so precious.
Oh,
That's
that is
Oh God, we're the Iron Giant pair. I love it.
Yes. Hodor.
that is so,
Oh, it's so
cute.
great.
No,
So,
Hogarth. I'm
a
sorry. Hodor's
long,
the other guy.
a long distance trip is more Constitution than anything else. So I would like everyone to go ahead and make a Constitution save as you are making your way across the ice to see if you can maintain an appropriate pace in the heavy snow.
Your wish is my command. I got a number on that.
19.
That's a 19.
19?
That's the number I got.
A 3. Neo got a 19. That's rough, T.
I also got a 19.
19. And then Mirth.
Three 19s.
18.
18.
Ah, so close.
Wait, I just realized. Why is Brom's greatest stat his charisma? Oh my god.
Because that's what
I
paladins
really-
cast
That's
with.
what Paladins cast
I
with.
know. I just didn't realize it. I was like, oh wow, his like charisma is like his best stat actually. Anyways,
Perfect.
Hey, if it helps, my charisma's 8.
Yeah.
My strength is 7, so like, hey, low scores.
Woo!
As the hours pass, Brom there's something about this that's wearing at you. You can't put your finger on it, and I think that's probably what Brom has done. Brom has probably gotten so up in Brom's head about why is this bothering you? Everyone else seems fine. There's probably some internal conflict that Brom would be dealing with, would be my guess, as you're making your way across the snow. And about 2.5 hours in, an hour in is when Perilou asked for lunch, and she began snacking on whatever Garrett gave to her to eat. But about 2 hours in, there's a few voices that carry over some rocks not too far away. Any of you that do not speak Draconic, you just hear,
What they saying though?
That was good.
ooh, Jawas.
Mirth, what you hear is,
It's that way. No, it's not that way. It's
Kobolds.
that way.
Yeah,
great,
these are
lost
kobolds.
dragons.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I was there. When were you there? I was. When? Recently. Liar.
Mirth is translating this like David Attenborough to everybody, like under his breath, and he's trying to do voices and stuff for each of them, like subtitles. And he's like, I think it's just kobolds. I wonder what they're doing out here. And I think he looks over at Lane and Garrett and is like, are kobolds common up here?
Are kobolds common here?
Icewind kobolds are around. They're usually not hostile. They come in to trade, but, well, they're very weird about what they trade. They're just as likely to bring a shiny rock as a chest full of platinum, so the traders are wary of them, but as long as they don't cause trouble, they make their way to town just fine.
A
Yeah,
chest full of
Cade really
platinum?
likes it when they bring the shiny rocks.
A lot of them are really stupid.
That's why Cade loves them.
Okay.
Do we see them
Did we
around the
help them?
rocks as we keep going? Do we see are they?
You
Watch
can.
this be like 2 young, like, white dragons or something.
Ugh,
or two
no.
or something.
Oh no.
Wouldn't that be fun?
No, that would be not fun at all.
If you would like to get closer, they're off the main path that Garrett is taking you, and he sees your interest at least. He goes, "Be careful."
Mirth
You can-
kind of gives a guilty shrug, like he's like, I know I'm the dragonborn, but I really do want to go see what's happening.
As
And
was just up next to
he
Mirth.
gives everybody a look like, do you mind? Can I go, like, see what's happening with these guys?
Azarus like pivots, like torso pivots over in Mirth's direction and just says like, "If you move, I will defend you.
Thanks.
You go, I got your back."
Okay,
Well, I'm
I'll
just
try
gonna
and
go
make it
with-
quick.
Mirth. Brom's gonna go with Mirth so that they don't die.
'Kay.
Hopefully.
Okay. We'll come peek around the edge and see what these little guys have, if they have anything.
Are you gonna stealth over or just walk over toward their voices?
I'm gonna call over in Draconic and say, hey nerds, you got anything to trade?
What was that?
Ooh.
What'd you say? What'd you call me? Who
I
are
called
you?
nerd.
Nerd.
And then Mirth is gonna come prancing around and look and see how many there are.
You come around the rock, and there are 6 kobolds in various bits of collected gear, none of which fits, all of which is oversized. They are standing around a whale oil lamp, kind of putting their claws out in front of it, and carrying around. 2 of them have between them a box that's probably 2 foot by 2 foot. By a foot deep, so not a huge box, but a decent-sized box, especially compared to the kobolds. And they're going to look at you and just one after the other.
Who's that? What do you want? Hey! Oh, you're a big one. Is that a dragon? That's not a dragon, stupid. But it's kind of like... No, it's not. It looks like a... Shut up. Hi.
Oh my god, they're so cute.
I love them.
My heart. I
You-
love them.
Where are you from? Where are you going?
I'm from the Sword Coast. Ever heard of it? And he's gonna kind of crouch down and look at all of them with interest and kind of reach out and poke at like a saucepan on one or whatever. Just like, where'd you get
No,
this?
don't touch.
And it backs away.
How do you survive out
Brom
here?
doesn't laugh.
Do they have any fur or any adaptations, or are they just little kobolds with?
They are
Gear.
kobolds. You're close enough. You can see that they are wrapped in found clothing. So they have a whole bunch of found clothing.
Sword Coast. What's a Sword Coast? It's over by the Sea of Moving Ice. It's not that far. Nothing's that far. It's just right over there. It's not over there. Is it by Mare Dolden? Mare Dolden.
Is that what you're looking for?
What? Who are you?
I'll
Mir-
translate. I'll translate.
Yes, I was going to say
immediately.
Mirth to
Yeah,
translate. Okay.
no problem. I'll do your voice too in Draconic.
He'd ask if they were looking for it because he has a map and a compass. He actually knows where they're going.
Going? Where? Looking for what?
I think they were just trying to
The Sword
identify
Coast?
where I'm coming from.
Where's Bryn Shander?
He'd take out the map.
Shander?
Oh no, we're gonna start escorting them
Oh,
along
I know where
with
that
the
is. I've been there.
Ah!
Azarus
what's
would just
that?
like literally
No,
just
get away!
point in like the
Back!
map direction
No,
that
back,
Bryn Shander's
back,
in and just be like,
back.
that way.
3 of them start stumbling and moving away.
Too big! Too big! What's that? I don't know. Did it
It's
talk?
okay.
It made a noise. I don't know what it said.
It's not an it. It's a he. What are your pronouns? Murph
He.
says, turning his head around. It's a he. And then turns back around to them and says, I'm Mirth, and here is everybody.
It's a
And he says everybody's name, including the dogs that he knows. And he says, are you going to go into town to trade? Do you have any rocks?
You hear a voice from over at the sled as Garrett comes around the corner.
Ew! Kill them, Garrett! They're nasty and dangerous.
You're nasty and not dangerous. Was that like Penelope or whatever her
Yep,
name
Perilou.
is being a meanie?
Yep.
Oh gosh. Dang it, go away, lady.
Listen,
We're going to get rid of her soon
There's-
enough.
listen. I've said it enough times. I'll say it again. Just one good heave.
I know.
No longer a problem.
I know.
No body found. Just
No,
saying.
I'm sorry, Brom wanted to save her. Anyways.
There's so many of
I'm
them.
sorry.
Why are
Brom
there
is
so
not
many?
sorry.
I don't know. Where did they come from? Over there. I saw where they came from, but where did they come from ultimately? Like previously, like before they got this far?
Good
What?
question.
Oh my gosh, a
Mirth
philosophical
will tell
one.
them
I
the
love
story.
them.
Question.
Mirth will give them
Story.
like a tweet-length version of what he's been doing and how they just got back from the mountain, are heading back, heard the voices, and were lonely for some draconic conversation. Haven't had that in ages.
You
And
climb,
then just came over.
you climb the big rock?
Yeah,
Why?
yeah.
Why?
Have you ever done it? You're too
To find
little.
someone.
But maybe
No.
you did.
What?
We came to find someone.
Why were they on the rock?
We were looking for someone.
What?
Do you want to come with us?
I'm confused.
You
I just want to go to Bryn Shander. We need to get to Bryn Shander. We have to trade. Where's Bryn
I mean,
Shander?
we are headed that way, so we could just take you with.
Do we have to?
There's plenty of room on his shoulders.
I'm
There is.
I was
not
gonna say there's
riding
plenty of
anywhere
room.
with them.
On the dog. We could just
Ooh,
put a
I look
kobold
at
on each of the
Azarus and I
sled
give the
dogs.
signal. I'm like, "Grr."
Oh, is it
Swear to
showtime?
God. Well, Mirth is going to try to. Brom, do you let Mirth attempt to sick the robot on this little mean
Stick
lady?
the robot on the halfling.
I
No,
don't
he's
know.
gonna put it. He's gonna be no fun and put his hand
Okay.
out. Like, wait.
I just need this moment, this chain
They-
reaction. To
Oh yeah,
happen.
Azarus like the moment Mirth like 6, Azarus turns and like just like kind of like shifts a bit, but then the Brom's just like it just stops. It's just like steps back down. Like for the brief, there's like a brief moment of irritation almost, which you've never really seen in his previously like non-emotional expression.
Well, Mirth looks around at everybody and says, well, they're really little and infinitely less irritating than Penelope. I don't see why we couldn't give him a ride towards Bryn Shander-ish. We're going to
Perilou.
Caer-Konig.
Perilou comes a correction from the.
No response.
Caroline more.
Perilou.
No response.
Like.
Penelope. Okay, so...
Perilou.
What?
We will be
What?
taking the roads back to our hometown. And Bryn Shander's on the way. It would make sense if we would help people out,
Just
as you do
point
when
them
you
in
are
the right
in these
direction.
parts.
We're going to help them out as we helped you.
Mirth is
Please
going to
be
spread
patient.
open his arms after giving them all some food that he's had, some snacks and
Food!
jerky, and he's
Oh,
going to open up his arms and say, "You're my
He's got
children now."
Food! He's got food!
Oh.
They're like jumping up and down around you. You have 6
that's-
kobolds jumping up and down around you.
Six.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I don't
boy.
know if
Too
I'm ready
many.
for this responsibility.
Oh Lord, we're an extended family now.
Oh no, Neo,
Lane
your
is-
competition.
I said Lane was old. I didn't mean give him 6 grandchildren. Like, no.
6 grandchildren
Six.
and
Oh,
Neo.
no.
We're at least prepared for it, okay?
No,
Neo, who's
no.
now 5.
5.
So Mirth will ask them and say, "Would
Lane
you
is
like
now
to walk
80.
with us? Will we go back towards the towns, and then you can go your separate ways once you get to where, to Bryn Shander, wherever you want to be trading?" You got
Yes.
some jerky on your lip. Okay.
Tongue juts out and grabs the jerky.
Okay, we ride.
We ride.
We
Indeed.
ride.
And
Oh,
we'll
they're
have-
so cool.
They're so cute. Oh my god. A part of me is like, I don't know if the kobold would be comfortable with it, but
We
there's
can't keep
conniving.
the kobolds too.
I mean, but look, there are
There's
8
too
sled
many.
dogs. We could definitely put a kobold on each of the dogs.
We're not
We have
keeping them.
picked up
They're their
enough
own.
strays.
They're autonomous adults. We're just
Between the
walking.
dogs, the Tarask, the halfling, and the robot, we have picked up enough strays.
Every
Also
okay,
the
listen.
Schwinger.
And the robot.
The, and the robot, that's true. Mirth is sort of bumbling over, and a sly little part of him is thinking, I wonder if the kobolds would want to sit next to her, because I sure want one of them to sit next to her. I want
Yeah,
her to
it'd be
covered in
really
kobolds.
tragic if they sat next to her. I can't imagine what would happen
Oh,
if they sat
no.
next to her.
They're so tiny. Yeah.
The group
Let's
of
just
kobolds
sprinkle a cup of kobolds next to her.
head over to the sled, and a couple of them take a look at the sled dogs that seem a bit apprehensive about it.
Oh.
One of them walks up and reaches out and like pokes the dog in the side of its jaw.
Garrett, can you introduce them? The kobolds aren't very
They're
dog
trying.
smart.
This is not going to go well, is it?
No, no, it will not.
as
Funny,
the kobold tries to climb up and
Mirth grabs it
over.
before it can get on the
Put me
dog.
down. No,
Was
don't
that
touch.
where it
I
was
don't want
going?
touch. Don't touch. Stop it.
And don't get on the dog. The dog will bite you and you're really small.
Oh.
He says in Draconic.
Uh,
Sit on this instead. And he puts it on top of Penelope.
She screams and shoves, and he falls on the ground, rolls over, pulls out a little dagger from nowhere.
Not my fault.
I try
Not
and
my
intervene.
fault.
Says in
Can I-
Draconic,
No touch. No.
and then side-eyes Mirth and says,
No touch.
Hey, so
You're right. I respect that and I apologize.
Can
Since
I?
so I know we made the joke about Penelope or whatever, her Periwinkle, whatever her name is,
Perilou.
being registered as non-hostile by me when she joined the group. Is that actually a thing we decided happened?
it did happen.
Yeah, it has to be.
It had to.
So the kobold drew a dagger, right?
Well, I don't think it counts. I mean, you could decide, but
I
probably
don't know.
like
Somebody
a
pulls a knife on him.
butter knife.
Yeah, I have to say, the
But
kobold
it's
drew a dagger. I think Azarus is gonna take that as a threat immediately.
I
Time to stop him if
actually-
somebody wants to.
Neil's gonna
But well,
jump
Mirth will
on
tell
it.
you to stand
Character.
down. We'll be like, hey, it's okay. It's the size of your toenail.
So like,
It's-
Azarus still has the
it's
sword
petting
out,
himself.
just like sticks it in the ground next to him.
It's
instead of,
my
like,
fault.
pulling it.
It's my fault, Azarus. I shouldn't have picked him up, and I apologize. Mirth says in Draconic, apologetically. You're right. I shouldn't have picked you up without asking, and I shouldn't have put you near that. And he kind of says that in nasty Draconic while looking at
Did
Penelope.
it just get
So-
colder out here for anybody?
Says in Draconic,
Literally.
They smell funny. Why do they smell like flowers? That's weird.
Mammals do that. They put things on themselves to smell good.
Why?
It is kind of weird. I don't know why we do that.
so the kobolds follow along for the next hour, they're not quite as able to keep up at the pace that Garrett would prefer. And just as you are reaching the edge of Caer-Konig is when the blizzard really starts to come in. And there's a great deal of running. The blizzard hits almost exactly as you reach the edge of Caer-Konig. And the kobolds immediately dive into an alley to get out of the snow and the wind and huddle up somewhere. Perilou puts a hand up to her eyes. She's like, "Why are we in the middle of this? Take me to the inn. Where is the inn?"
Oh, yeah.
Sure would be
Oh,
a
leather.
shame if somebody fell off the dog cart.
Do I know
Got
where the inn is?
thrown!
Do I know where the inn is?
So Garrett says, "It's fine. We're almost there. Just chill out for a minute."
I'm assuming Azarus would stay at the rear of our little caravan. So who's like directly in front of me?
Probably Brom.
Yeah,
Alright,
Neil's
well,
on the
you're
side.
you're now being sheltered by a big robot. Like the moment the blizzard sets in, he kind of like hunches over Brom as much as possible. Just he figures
Brom's-
biologicals don't do well in overt cold, so he's doing his best.
Thank you. Also, it's very rare that anyone can do that for him. So he's like, oh, okay.
Benefits of being almost 8 feet
Thanks.
tall.
Tall boy.
You got it. It's all good.
You reach the outskirts of Caer-Konig. There is a ruined Caer, which is where it gets the. I just turned it down a little bit, Purple Phil, so hopefully I turned it down enough. Let me know if I didn't. There's a ruined Caer, which both Garrett and Lane would know. This is where Caer-Konig gets its name. It's an old castle. The Caers are what the Icewind Dalers refer to. Essentially, when these 10 towns first started, each of them started as some kind of encampment or castle or fortress. This Caer-Konig is on the side of Lake Dineshare. You arrive in town. Garrett leads you around to Frozen Far Expeditions, which is his launching point. It is... I will ping it on the map so you know where you're at. It is right over here.
Cool.
And
Yeah,
that
we're all pinging it.
he will lead you inside, put the dogs in the kennel, right next door, and with the wind howling around, you find yourselves inside of Frozen Far Expeditions. There's a voice from the far side. It is, you look over, and there's a human over there. She appears older, well-traveled. You hear her call out, "Ha! Garrett, how was the trip?" Not great, Atanus. Not great. Well, you brought back more than you left with. But where's that nice young man, that blue boots fellow? It's always dangerous going up that way, and there were yeti. I thought all that was cleared out years ago. Well, apparently some have come back. And what of the rest of you? What are you doing here?
Just here for I'm just happy to be here. Here for the ride. And also treasure.
We were retrieving him. He says, kind of gesturing with his head towards Garrus. Garrett, not Garrus. Wow. Okay. I'm sorry. That's 0 for 1 names so far. Everyone's BioWare characters now, apparently.
Perfect. Well, you're welcome to stay until the blizzard passes. Make yourselves at
It'd be
home.
appreciated, thank you.
Yep, won't be long. The blizzard takes about 3 hours, which makes it effectively getting close to time when the aurora crossed the sky again. By the time you got down the mountain and walked this far and then waited out the blizzard, it is about 7 o'clock, and the aurora tend to start going at 8. Garrett looks up. We can get a room at the inn, unless you have somewhere else to stay.
We left our house, unfortunately.
Well,
I'm happy to stay at the inn.
It makes sense to me.
we can head to the hook, line, and sinker or the Northern Light. I've always been partial to the Northern Light myself, but any
Wherever
preference?
there's an audience.
But the singer sounds so much.
I'm a hook, line, and sinker person, sorry.
Yeah, see, that sounds kind of fun for me personally.
Yep.
Brief. Sometimes this happens on his computer.
Oh.
I'll be back in a minute.
No problem. Well, we'll head that way. We'll decide when we get there. It starts
What are the
leading.
two inns like?
Well, Hook, Line, and Sinker is known for its free half pint of ale.
Hence why I'm about it.
They prefer to bribe people into staying, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Or free stuff.
The Northern Light is, well, it's known for the lantern that hangs outside. Changes color. It's rather pretty.
Oh, we have one of those. I pull out the Twingle lantern.
I
It's
pull
like-
out Neo.
Oh,
Yes, that is very sweet and very odd. But either way's fine. Let's head down the block. You start heading down toward the two taverns, both of which are around the same square. The Hook, Line, and Sinker is the one on the western side of the square, and the Northern Light is to the east. As you get close to the square itself, there is a sudden burst of activity from a nearby snowdrift. Huh? Who goes there? Is it thieves? Have I found the creeping bastards?
We got a drunk.
And he
Oh, friend.
pulls down his scarf, and there is a silver dragonborn standing
Oh.
there, pointing back and forth with an empty bottle. He burps.
Oh no. Why are we
Yep.
meeting awkward members
Wait.
of the family?
Yep.
Oh,
Yes. Yes.
Pardon.
Good.
Why can't we find someone cool?
Yes. Good.
But he's a silver dragonborn. So
Yes.
what does he look like?
so
Aside from rip-roaring drunk.
he had a scarf over his face pulled down. His face is not as pointed as Mirth's, much more rounded, and frills going over either side of his head, and a slightly larger frill through the middle. He his other ice blue eyes. You can just barely see his fangs over his lips when he smiles, and he's bundled up in actually a rather nice looking coat, a rather expensive looking coat.
Yeah.
He says, "Oh, I can see you. I can see you. I can
Are you
see
all
you.
right?
You're not invisible if I can see you."
No, I'm not invisible.
Good.
Why are you out in the blizzard? You should be inside.
Pardon my manners. It's almost time for the aura, the aurora, the aura.
Aurora, Azarus says from the back.
Yes, yeah. So a bit jittery. There's been thieving going on at night. I'm Trovus. I'm the town speaker here. I'm in charge. Welcome to Caer-Konig.
Great first impression.
Hold up. Oh, never mind. Caer-Konig is the one that's missing the town speaker.
Yes. Yep.
Oh.
Why?
Do I know of this guy?
You know,
I haven't been out to Caer-Konig that much.
you wouldn't have gone out that much, but the speakers are generally the names of the speakers at least.
Yeah.
Trovus has been speaker for a while, mostly because nobody wants the job. And
Valid.
He tends to drink a lot.
Also valid at
Couldn't have
this
figured that one
point.
It's like Finland times 2, or any Nordic country where it's dark and unhappy for a good part of the year.
You gotta make it through, but you gotta be careful. There's thieving about.
Diving. Dive thief.
We'll be careful of thieves, but I'm more concerned about the fact you just popped out of a snowdrift. Do you?
How else are you gonna catch invisible thieves?
He has a point.
I hate that all of us are like, yeah, checks out. This guy's fine. Like,
Listen.
All right. Well, Brom's
we
gonna
are
do.
supportive of the wrong people.
Brom's gonna do a thing. He's gonna look for any footprints around them.
There's footprints all over. It's the town square. You haven't seen too many people since you got into town because the blizzard happened. But now that the blizzard has let up and you've gone back out, there's a few people that are milling about. So it's still fresh fallen snow, so there's not a lot of footprints, but there's a few.
Okay.
You can make a survival check if you'd like to investigate them closer. There's a couple footprints, different sizes, probably belonging to different people rather than the same person walking back and forth.
He kind of looks at it and has that vague. He has the expression that usually means like someone is thinking hard about something, but instead of coming to any good conclusion, they just kind of feel like annoyance starting to cause a headache. And then he stands up like, nope.
I need a refill. He starts to walk away from the town square for a moment, then he stops. Are you staying in town long?
We weren't planning on it, I don't think.
Oh.
If you see any thieving, let me know. He takes a few more steps back toward the north, and there's a voice that comes from the northern light to the right. Trovus! You look, and there's a woman on the porch of the northern light,
Oof.
looking around with a lantern. Trovus! Damn you, Trovus! Quit wandering around in the cold.
Believe you're being summoned, friend.
He turns around at the yells. Wrong way, and wanders off toward the northern light. As he walked past you, he points to the northern light. They took the lamp. They took the northern light. That's why we gotta find him.
Ah.
And he wanders over there.
Brom's gonna follow him, even though he's wandering away from his wife? Question mark.
You head over. Brom heads over to the, toward the northern light.
Yale's gonna follow as well.
Azarus will be with them as well if the group's moving that way.
Sure.
Have we let? Now I can't remember her name. Thank you. Have we let the halfling out at the inn though, so that she's not with us?
So Perilou stayed back at the expeditions.
Good.
okay.
Ah.
Oh my gosh.
She doesn't want to go to an inn. Wow. Okay.
Garrett is behind. He had left the dogs there at the expeditions, walking along.
Yeah.
Trovus is like that. He means no harm.
Oh, I'm familiar. Dorbelgruff's not much better.
Yeah. It's kind of a thing for leadership around here.
Eh,
Seem to fall apart the longer the dark is.
Yeah.
It's not just the leadership.
No? You doing okay, Lane?
Oh, yeah. Just, you're getting lost on the Cairns, You're really
I
starting to
wasn't
get worried
lost.
about you,
I was not lost. I knew
Just-
right where I was.
Yeah.
I knew
sure.
exactly where I was.
Sure, buddy.
I
Yeah.
was fine.
Yeah.
Azarus says.
Absolutely.
Azarus just says.
Brom,
"My log's like
Brom pats his
where the
shoulder.
hell are we? At least 7 times.
He takes a piece of paper out of his pocket. Azaris, stop. Wait, Azaris. Shut up, damn it.
Registered.
You enter the Northern Light, and the Northern Light is kind of your typical small fishing town tavern, to the point where it's strange that there would be two. The woman that you saw out on the porch just a moment ago is over behind the bar. She sat Trovus down at the bar, patted him on the shoulder, and went to get him a glass of water to put in front of him. Settles him in, and she turns and looks at the rest of you. Yeah. Welcome to the Northern Light. And welcome to Caer-Konig.
Thanks.
Thank
Drink?
you.
Room for the night? You're not particularly familiar.
Earth.
Yep.
Is there
Uh,
an audience to play for?
Oh boy.
There's a couple regulars sitting around.
We don't need to go into a whole scene, by the way. I don't want to take
No,
up
no.
the time, but
a couple
Earth would play
regulars.
for them.
So a few people.
Yeah.
would there be any adverse reaction to the giant robot walking into the tavern?
No, because you came through town with Garrett already.
Oh, cool, sweet. So yeah, I'm just gonna walk in and just like, people tend to sit in these things, so I'm gonna find the chair I can maybe sort of kind of fit in and just kind of like get my big robot butt in it and just try to appear like a
Please don't
tavern
break
goer.
the chair. Oh God. I hope the chair doesn't
Automatically
break.
breaks.
just,
No.
just trying to look normal, trying to fit in. It's what those
Oh.
fleshy
Let's
ones do.
direct
Oh,
you to
honey.
like sit on a strong stone.
Yeah, like a strong stone
those
stool or
like
something.
seats
Just
or yeah, something that's not as likely. We'll just like do just right. This
Or
one
that
looks-
weird shelfie thing that's by the fireplace in most.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, the
Makes sense to
shelfie
me.
thing.
I'll just plop down there, maybe even like pick up an empty flagon and like tilt it back towards my head a bit,
Ah.
put it back
oh, so
down.
cute.
Honey. Oh.
Garrett will go up to the bar and say, "I'm so sorry, Allie. I've been trying to help him fit in, and I don't think it's helping." You're doing your best, Garrett. I know Keegan worries about you. That's why you have... I'm fine. You're fine. Sure.
I'm
you're
snickering
fine.
so hard behind him.
Garrett says, "This is socializing."
Aw.
You're not supposed to say that out loud.
Apologies.
So, Trovus said there's been trouble. Thieving. Break-ins. No one's seen anything, and Trovus is convinced there are invisible thieves. But, well, Trovus also thinks the bottom of his flagon hates him, which is why he tries to drown it, and then save it because he regrets it, and then drown it again because he changed his mind. So, Trovus's thoughts are.
Out of character, why is this guy in charge of the town? This doesn't seem like the kind of
Because nobody else wants the job.
to be holding up as the figure
wonder
of
why.
leadership, I feel like.
Yeah, Mirth is thinking to himself, like, he's kind of making sure he looks as, like, dignified as he can, because he's a little embarrassed. This is the only other dragonborn he's seen, and it's a silver dragonborn. They're, like, Mirth is the lowest of the shinies, like, coppers are fine, but they're also the jokesters. Like, silvers are really, like, have a great reputation, and they're often these guards and cool people, and theoretically he might be suited to be a good leader, but he's just this joke, and Mirth is kind of ashamed. Doesn't even know him, but is like, oh, what is this guy's story? He's watching Trovus thoughtfully, seeing if maybe his first impression is wrong.
Allie will. Well, he thinks they're invisible dwarves for some reason, and they're quiet, but I've always thought that a quiet dwarf was a bit of an oxymoron, so I'm really not sure what's going on. About that time, the door to the kitchen swings open, and a rather stern-looking woman enters holding a steaming bowl of stew. She places it down in front of Trovus and says, "No dwarf did this. Someone would have spotted him, caught him. There's something going on. Besides, what use do hungry dwarves have with a lantern?"
I want to peek in little Bubby's box and just be like, "Did you take it?" I feel like he would get into that
We
mission.
have to investigate.
You
I
open the
Hmm.
alms box, and Bubby is sitting on the little bed that's in there, with their ankles crossed, and has like a leaf open in front of them, and just
Aw.
looks up and
You know anything
quietly,
about a missing lantern?
quietly folds the leaf.
All right. You good? You need more leaves?
Bubby was reading.
Okay, cool. Had to check.
I like that Bubby was reading a blank leaf with
I
nothing
know.
on it.
Casually to, "Excuse
Love him.
me, I was busy."
What a movie.
I love that.
Blankly.
I mean, that's like me half the day, but yes.
Same.
Yep. Look, it seemed like mischief that he would do. Okay, I had to check.
Make sure it's fair.
Fair question. The stern woman will look your way. More mouths to feed. They've been clearing our larders out for days, and more mouths to feed. Wonderful. She heads back to the kitchen.
Like, raises a hand, just says, "Not me. I don't require any sustenance."
I can always pay. It's fine.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
my
I was
God, he
planning
can
on
really
paying.
pay.
Don't.
I was planning
Oh.
on paying.
You don't have to. You don't have
I
to.
wasn't planning on paying, Mirth says, beginning his concertina performance that always grants him free room and board because Bard.
Yep.
Well,
I
Braun is
love
gonna
having a bard.
pay for the foods.
Brom, when you open up your coin purse to pull out money for that, there is a rolled up piece of paper in it.
Ooh.
He picks up the piece of paper and kind of
says
like
Yeti.
opens it.
You unroll it, and it says loan.
Uh-oh.
And when you turn it over, it says on the back, "Dear sir or madam, or reader in general, hey you. Please pay back this amount plus interest when the fulfillment of the terms has been reached. We shall meet you in 7 days."
Oh, great. We got magical capitalism. Fantastic.
No. Also, what are the terms? It just kind of appeared.
It's capitalism. You aren't supposed to know that.
There don't appear to be any terms on it.
See?
Well, I mean, he also has normal money, so he's going to use some of his normal money for that.
Like
Sure.
a good neighbor.
Literally.
Allie says,
I
None
don't
of
even
that
think-
went organically.
Where
My-
did we get that money from that you just got the loan
It was
from?
one of his luck tables.
Oh, right.
Well, I guess that luck ran out.
Oof.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
wasn't
we can always
expecting
just
it all.
pay it back later. Mirth says
Well-
irresponsibly.
Well, I don't know what the interest is, but
I'm sure the
he'll talk.
invisible hand of the market will guide us to success. All right, no more capitalism jokes. I'm sorry.
All right. He would pay for their meals for now. Not draw from the money pile to pay for other stuff, and we'll talk to them about that later because he has no idea how what the terms are.
The bartender will look at you. My apologies for my sister. She is nonplussed by the current situation, to say the least. We appreciate pay, of course, but sometimes, even if there's payment, there's still not enough food. So the stew is simple, but it is filling. Hope you enjoy it.
Thank you.
It's perfect, Mirth says before even trying some.
Aww.
Tries to be encouraging.
That's so sweet.
Trovus, I'd love to do like a quick conversation with Trovus, but I want to be mindful of bio break.
That's what I was going to bring up.
Okay.
So there were a couple pingings back and forth of people wanting to interact with each other. I was going to see if you wanted to beforehand, and we kind of didn't. So I will pause here for a little bit. So Allie will look over and say, things have gotten pretty bad, and we're hoping to find someone to do something about it. And with that, we'll take a quick bio to stretch, water, in and out, wherever, and we'll be back in 5 minutes or so.
And now Rock says, and that's cute. Oh, there we go.
All right.
I mean, I would
Aw.
allow that.
Honestly,
I
Rox,
would allow it too. A wholesome campaign.
I believe this is an insurrection now.
Yeah.
Perfect. We are back. Thank you for hanging out. We picked back up. The party just found their way to Caer-Konig, made their way over to the Northern Light, found out that somebody is stealing food, and that's right where they pick up. So you're back into the Northern Light Inn. The inn's yours. You just heard from Allie, who's the bartender there, that people have been stealing food. Trovus thinks that it's dwarves. He also thinks they're invisible. She thinks that he's completely untrustworthy. Trovus is snoozing with his face on the bar at the moment. And we're back.
I wonder
Right.
if the things that he thinks are invisible dwarves are maybe twingos. What do you think, Lane?
I already asked little Bubby. He doesn't, or they don't know a thing.
Okay.
We should look around for more information. There are probably clues out there.
Yeah. Maybe after this whole blizzard situation. Yeah, good idea.
Just another plot hook that we're gonna accept and forget to fulfill. This is fine.
Okay, someone inspire Neo. Give him the power of the
I'm
Genki.
doing it.
Yeah, hang
game-
on. We
the
all
Genki
have
hero.
RP with Neo planned, okay?
Oh, would you like to go first?
No.
Okay.
He only has so much in him.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's sure. Well, if it's okay with you, Rox,
It's-
where would Neo be sitting? Or
That's
is
what
he
I was going to
turned
ask that
into-
exactly. What is Neo up to?
Wherever Brahm is, he'd probably be sitting right next to Brahm. Just like chilling there, drinking some
lucky.
water.
I too am sitting right next to Brahm because Brahm is a teddy bear made of metal. Now we have two of them.
As Teddy Bear.
Brahm is also the fountain of. Brahm is also currently the fountain of money, so he bought them all. Like
I said I would pay
Hot
for
chocolate.
things. Oh my
he
gosh.
said, no. He's paying with his real money. He's got rich parents. Damn it. He's allowed to pay for things. Let him be.
Meanwhile, I'm the
Be
parent
figured
that
out.
has to provide pocket money. You're right. Okay.
So Mirth is gonna.
Let Brahm be sugar daddy.
I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that. So Mirth is gonna put his snout on his hands, and he's peeking over the table, over at Neo, and he's going to use minor illusion to create a kind of cartoony, almost like stop motion animation style depictions of the party. So everybody has their own little character and is doing a little task or something, and he's gonna have I guess some of them dance up to Neo in sort of a silly manner and have them do little bows and skits, and he's gonna say, "Hey, I've noticed you seemed a little down lately. Are you all right?"
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just hard on this mountain. How do you do it, if you don't mind me asking? You always seem to be so happy, even with everything that's going on. How?
Mirth feels bad. In his heart, he's thinking, he's like, "Oh, Bubby, like Neo's such a sweet, kind man," and it's tricky seeing him process some of the things that he's going through. And Mirth listens sincerely and thinks for a minute and says, "That's a good question. I'm not the wisest apple in the barrel, but I will say that when you want something more than anything, and when you've got a goal in your sights, anything that gets in the way of that, any wallowing in things that aren't productive or constructive to my goal, there's no point. It'll just slow me down. It's not that I don't care about things, it's just lingering on the negative things has a time, and I grieve and I have my own sadnesses like anybody, but everybody's up here is sad, so it sucks. We have to fix this whole entire place. That's why you're the leader, and we want to make sure that we're going to cheer you up. You don't have to do all this on your own, and it's okay to have the feelings you have. You don't have to process stuff like I do. You can find happiness your own way if you want to.
And if you don't feel happy, you don't have to pretend.
I guess that's true. I spent so long being happy, kind of unaware of what everybody else is going through. So I guess it seems a little unfair that I've been living carefree for so long. And then I come here and everybody's suffering. And even though I came here with the intent to make everybody's life better, it was a childish dream. And as much as I wanted to be a hero that would save the day, at the end of the day, I just became even more childish.
That's not true.
This is still
What's
in
wrong
like the
with
tavern,
being
right?
childish? Mirth actually asked this while the little figurines he's literally made are dancing around. He's like, "What's wrong with being childish?" And I think he kind of smiles a little bit and is like, "A child could still save the day.
But nobody
The world
expects
isn't
them
just
to.
for grown-ups."
That's true. I guess I'm done being a child. I'd like to say, I'd like to be the future me and not the past me who was only concerned about being a child. I'd like to take more action, more initiative. And I'm just figuring out how to do that. But I'm fine.
That's awesome. Mirth is like fascinated and admiring, and he says, "I'm sorry this is so hard, and I know that you're going through a lot right now and processing, but I really admire you. Actually, I find you quite inspiring, and I'm glad that I and the others get to be here with you while you're experiencing these changes and growth and finding your way and who you want to be."
Thank you. I really enjoy traveling with you guys. It's been a very fun time, and I'm ready for the end goal. I'm ready for.
Not quite, buddy. You've got a long way to go. I respect you and I deeply care for you, friend. But you are very new to this. I just have sat across the table from them now. But being sad or having your hopes crushed means you actually recognize the good moments when they come. If you've lived your whole life being happy, you're not gonna actually appreciate it, right? My
Chris
little
agrees,
girl,
but doesn't say anything.
my little girl hasn't seen the sun since she was 6 months old. And when we bring the sun back, and you're gonna help, she will appreciate it that much more. Right?
Right.
Right.
The other thing too to consider is you come from a place of privilege, but you have a very compassionate view, and there's some value in having that itself. And thinking of others is valuable. Worth protecting.
I guess I just have to prove my worth now.
You already have.
Kind of just smiles a little bit.
Mirth goes, "Ugh, why are you so perfect?" And then sort of like, I think he like whirls around in a storm of glitter, and I think he just exaggeratedly plays the music and whatnot. Also, I wanted to say that as Lane was speaking about the sun, I think that the little illusion was making sun glow on Lane's lovely chiseled tattooed
Aw.
face as he was speaking. Give him a
Mirth.
little bit of that holy light.
Beautiful. Mirth,
Yes.
he's good because he's got good people.
And good hair. I'm so envious.
I mean, okay, yeah, I was more saying
Did your
give
tattoos
yourself
come off?
credit. What?
Mirth says, suddenly coming in really close. Did your
What?
tattoos come off during battle? I'm pretty sure you ripped off your tattoos. Mirth is like way too close.
At this point, Azarus will also kind of like, rumble over behind.
I hope he's also like way too close. That would be
Yeah,
great.
just, like,
Just,
yeah,
like,
just, like,
tilted all the way in.
close. Yeah,
Mirth
just like,
on one side,
like-
dragon on
like
the
if-
other.
Yeah, exactly. Just right here, and Lazarus just like, indeed, your magic is of the old world. Please explain.
Side note,
Eyes
I put
dilated like
Blink,
a cat,
blink,
just
blink.
fully open.
Huge robot eyes.
I put a frosted mini wheat in my mouth right as you asked that, so I'm like really hoping that I'm not crunching through the mic, but I think that's
You
on
were totally
brand of, like,
crunching.
You're good.
It
You're
worked.
I
It
think-
worked.
I think that Lane just kind of like put like peanuts in his mouth or something right as you asked, and he's just like,
That's fine. I can wait. We'll just stand there. Yeah, we'll just kind of blink.
Well, okay. Well, they're
Also-
both
side note, first of all, yes, tattoos did come off, and we'll address that in character, but Lane has not looked in a mirror. You will notice, however, that not only did his tattoos come off in battle, he seems to be missing a few smaller parts of the design
Oh.
that he used to have. But Lane will just be like, that. It's sort of, I guess, a symbol. You know the boss.
Are they makeup? Some of them are missing.
What? No.
Magic. Potent magic. Dangerous.
The boss.
Azarus, like as he says
likes-
dangerous, like his eyes kind of like narrow in just a little bit.
like Iron Giant style, just like
Yeah, just slightly narrowed in Iron Giant style. Just
mm,
like not so much in like anger, just in like
yeah, scrutiny,
concern,
sure. Yeah. The boss likes the reminder that I'm working, basically. Think contract, essentially. It just how it works sometimes.
Azarus kind of again at this point kind of like shifts back out of your personal space and back to his full height. Doesn't seem to be like looking at any of you directly, maybe kind of just off a little bit, and just says, I've seen the way the old magics can wreak havoc on the mortal world. I'd advise caution going forward.
I'm working on it. We're working on it, and I like motion back to Neo again to include him in the conversation.
Still hasn't
Wow.
looked back.
He
at
just
it.
looks confused. He's like, tattoos.
Still
Uh,
hasn't looked back.
while they're
Still hasn't
talking
looked off
while
of it.
they're talking about Lane's tattoos, Brom would continue talking to Neo. So while they're like
Yeah. Please get out of my face.
Yes, please. I just imagine like both of them
Exactly that.
just like this close. Brom's already sitting next to Neo, so he just kind of leans over a little bit and kind of takes a deep breath. I mean, think too of how many people we've helped already. Some of them we couldn't help. It was too late, but some of them we have. And I would hope that counts for something, because without us, they surely would have perished.
Yes, that's true. I noticed on the mountain that you were very calm when you saw those dead bodies. What was going through your head?
Horror, dread, vain hope.
But you seemed fine.
I always seem fine. I think
Are
we all
you-
have different.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm just fine. But I think we all have different performances that we carry. North performs happiness. Lane performs nonchalance. And I have my own sort of carriage to keep. But, I feel just as much as anyone else. When the Craig cats came, I was afraid. When the yeti confronted us in the cave, I was afraid. We came too late to help the young man and woman. I was not happy. I was a little horrified, to be honest, but there was nothing else we could have done. I think we all just process things differently, every one of us. And for me, I think that there's nothing we could have done for them. Even if we had come hours before, these men were dead for some time. We would have had to come a day early or known that they would be there. It's impossible. We can only do what we can do. And hopefully we'll be able to do something great soon.
I also hope that. And if it means anything, I kind of look up to you. You are so strong, and you're always taking another step forward, doing the right thing, and I admire that.
Rom smiles. I do my best. Thank you. Now keep being our courageous leader.
And he just like looks around. When did I become the leader?
You've always been the leader, child. Man.
Well, I'll do my best then to be your strong, powerful leader and save the day.
T says, Brom, Neo's always been the leader. Always been ready. This is Genki Shonen Powers.
Shonen powers. No, all this is happening. Oh God, I wish I had you say "run" as like a background noise, because that's gonna happen. That's gonna
There-
happen.
Yes, it's going to happen.
There are two things that happen as this conversation begins to wind down. The first is the front door of the tavern bursts open, and a short figure in a split dress will come in and
Oh,
yell
boy.
loudly, "That other tavern is miserable. Tell me your food isn't terrible." Allie
I
will-
look at Azarus and I go, "This is the time. This is the time."
Ha!
The
Just
the other thing that happens is the back door opens, and at some point during your conversation, Trovus had woken up and wandered off.
Oh no.
The back door opens, and you hear a voice yell, "I found him!"
What is happening? No.
Hearing the "I have found them," Azarus immediately just goes, "I believe we may have found our thieves," and begins like checking out the back door.
Neil hops
Brom
on the
takes
table.
out his broadsword and goes to.
You're going the wrong way.
Garrett stands up and grabs his stomach and he sits back down. He's like, I think I'm gonna stay here.
I'm gonna eat too much stuff.
Take Azarus. He'll help.
Okay.
Neil hops on the table and starts like pointing towards the back door, and he's like, "Team, it's time to go get the enemies."
There it
Acknowledge.
is.
Let's move.
Brom's ready. He has his sword out. Gonna
Yellow
fight.
Power Ranger.
So Power Ranger.
Yeah, Azarus like draws the great sword from his back, and it probably like hits the table on the way and maybe does some damage to it. Sorry, I'm not a
Come
ethical
on.
robot.
We'll pay for that.
But I'm on my way out the door now.
So does that mean that Neo's like the white dragon sword,
I mean, yes, obviously.
or is he the Tyrannosaurus?
I
I
don't.
feel like Neo has to be the
understand
Red
this.
Ranger. I feel like he has to be the Red Ranger.
Yes.
The
Oh, you're
Red
right, He's gotta be
Ranger.
the Red Ranger.
You
Ugh,
have
I
to
don't
be
like the Red
the. You're
Ranger.
the. Okay, well you don't have to be that, but you get to be the one where when we transform, you're like the cool cockpit.
Like the head and like center
Yeah.
torso. That's you. That's all you.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
You can be the face.
Yo,
I'll
give
be
left
like a
leg.
leg.
I'm just saying. I'm calling the left leg. I don't want any. I
Brom
don't
will
want
be a
anything
right
about
arm.
I'll be like an elbow.
it. Just specifically the elbow.
Trovus is at the
Really
back door.
charismatic elbow. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Come on,
What is this?
come on, and stumbles out the back door. You follow him out the back, ready for anything.
You go.
And Trovus points down at some tracks in the snow. He says, "There."
Can I look
Where?
just to double check that that's not his own feet,
Go ahead and make a survival
Oh.
check.
please?
I swear
Okay.
to God. I'm glad you thought of that, Nif, because
I'm using my advantage from chat because that was gross. No, I don't believe this man an instant. Survival is
Oh, so bad.
14.
14's enough to know they are not his own footprints.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
thank God.
Cool.
They are wider and have a shorter stride than his footprints.
Oh, good.
Oh.
They were not here when I looked just a little bit ago.
So that's why you think dwarves, because the. All right.
Can we sniff around? Can we like do a quick?
Investigation.
Yeah.
Sure,
Can we
go
do
ahead.
that?
Consult our leader, Azarus says, and like turns towards Neo.
he's clueless. He forgot that he was being the leader, so he's just.
What?
It's like the one kid with the cup just looking back and forth, just.
It is as Neo
I-
says. And so it shall be.
I definitely took my tankard out with me on accident, and I'm like, oh, and like go to turn and leave it in the tavern, and just kind of whisper to Neo as I pass, "You're gonna want to follow the direction they headed just to see where they go." Just like try and give him a tip of like how to be a good leader.
Yeah, and starts heading that
Oh, you're-
direction.
Good idea. Yeah, that there.
I will. So Brom starts looking around, trying to figure out if there's anything left behind. Investigates the area, and if you can see Brom's rolls on chat as T has
So
been
bad.
rolling.
Ooh,
and you
buddy.
Can see the 3,
Complete
the 5, the 8,
garbage.
and the 8 all night.
Ooh.
Wow. I actually have real dice now that my friend got me as a present, so maybe I'll use those instead.
Use the real dice.
It may
Use
be
the real
time.
click clacks.
So Brom, you look around, and before long, you're following your own footprints back to the door.
He may not be very emotive, but he makes a soft growl sound and kind of kicks at the doorstop with a booted foot, like
DM, can I roll something?
quiet.
Sure. What would you like to roll?
Would perception or investigation be better?
Perception is if you're looking around for what left the tracks. Investigation would be if you're looking for anything they might have left behind or what they did while they were here.
I'm gonna go
Okay.
get my actual dice and do investigation.
I'm actually just gonna do. I'm just gonna do perception. I got a 16. I think Mirth is like actually sniffing, like like kind of walking around like with his
I was
snout
gonna
out,
also
like
perception to,
smelling.
I was gonna also do perception to like scan the area for any like signs of hostiles or anything.
Sure, you can look around for hostiles.
That's
You
a
don't see
7.
anything.
That's
Murph,
not a bad
what
one.
you find, you look around, you can see the tracks leading off away from the village. So you may not sure what left them, but you do see the tracks heading off to further to the east, and well, there's definitely the rest of the town is not that direction.
I found the trail. We might consider following it before it snows again. What do you think, everyone?
Should go.
The leader.
And then he starts like actually running in that direction.
Yes, good.
Rom takes out the lantern and starts moving that way too.
I'm running with him. I'm right behind him. Just big old loud footsteps.
And
Is Lane coming too?
I mean, yeah, but I'm not gonna run about it.
Okay, fine.
He's just walking behind, but catches up at the same
All
time.
right, whatever.
Yep, exactly. It's the dad walk of like, okay, you're gonna go and you're gonna see
All
what's
right.
happening, and then I will get there and be like, okay, what'd you find?
lizard. No, I'm just kidding.
You
All right,
start,
so
And
what
he's
do
like
we-
87,
found
so he can't walk
snow.
that fast.
you start following the tracks, and they're not difficult to follow, and they must be particularly fresh because it has not been
Because of
long
the
since the
blizzard.
blizzard stopped. So it's unusual that they would be heading off in this direction so soon after the blizzard. Lane, you know that there isn't even another town this direction. Caer-Konig
Yeah.
is the
Northeasternmost. Yeah.
town. The footprints lead off. You follow them along for a half hour, 45 minutes. About that time, you notice that the aurora has already started spreading across the sky. And you get to a well-packed area over by some rocks. It seems like there was something more here at some point. But it's too hard to tell without a closer look.
And the footprints just stopped.
They stopped in a mass, so there's a number of other...
Footprints around.
And it's just been the one set the whole time?
It appeared to be one set the entire way. The area around you has grown more rocky. There's a lot more exposed cliffs. The lock down to your south, the path is following more or less around the northern shore of the lock. I'll put us back on the map to show that.
Could I perception check real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
Just because I feel like Azarus' reaction will depend on what he actually feels like is going on. So I'm gonna do one of those real quick. That's a good number.
That is a good number.
Yay!
What do I get the idea that maybe we might be walking into a bit of a trap?
Well, with a perception check, you don't see anyone in hiding.
Mhm.
It's only a trap if we're the weak ones here.
That's
It's
fair.
fine.
You look
But-
around and you do see while it's the one set of tracks reaching this point that's beaten down a little bit, you do look around and you see between some of the rocks there is maybe a path that someone tried to obscure in some way. It looks like someone's kicking snow over a path that leads further off to the east and a little to the north, starting to move away from Loch Dinashir.
Is this super far out from town, or is this like?
About 45 minutes from town right now.
Oh,
Keep following.
I mean, we're already out here. Might as well keep going, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be gone by tomorrow. We better hurry.
Yeah, let's
that's
keep going.
true. That's true.
You start following this poorly obscured path, and about another hour passes. The aurora has completely filled the sky, and the sickly green of its light is changing the color of the snow from the fairly clean white under moonlight to something more ominous, something off-putting. You follow along through the foothills. The path gets rockier and harder, but after a few, probably about another half hour of following, it's as though they stopped trying to hide their tracks, and you see what looks like a pair of sled ski tracks and heavy footprints pulling it along.
Huh.
Over time, you get to a valley. The it's a box valley or a box canyon. The rocks lead far down below, and on one end there is the face of the cliffs coming in to meet each other. Just visible in the green glow of the aurora is what appears to be a blocky stronghold of some kind. Something solid and harsh. It looks like it was slammed into the cliff rather than built from it. There's no joy or pleasure put in its building. It is purely utilitarian.
How old does this structure appear to be?
From up here?
This distance, you can't really tell. It's simply old, smoothed blocks where the cliff would come together.
I guess the reason why I'm asking is if there were a bastion here, perhaps for, I don't know, any kind of war-like purposes, would it be old enough that Azarus might have any memory of it?
Give me a history check.
I will try that. My history cores have been failing me recently, so maybe that's a bad roll.
That's a 4. You don't remember there being any strongholds to the east and north of Caer-Konig.
Yeah, so Azarus maybe even like tries to search his memory banks for a moment to see if there's anything there, and like you almost like see like a glitch, almost maybe like a slight moment of pain. In fact,
Are you okay?
my memory core is malfunctioning.
Oh, that's what happens when you think.
When you age as long as I have, certain things don't function as well as they should.
That's a mood. What?
Bad.
I'm so sorry.
No.
That was great.
So Brom got an 8 for perception.
As you look around, an 8. Poor bro.
So many 8s.
Using so
you-
many.
Perceiving? Are you thinking
Yeah.
about perceiving?
Don't
Are
even
you
don't even
attempting?
perceive me right now.
No,
Do you even perceive, bro?
I don't even want to be.
Okay. Oh
no,
shoot!
he doesn't.
If it's okay, DM, I should have announced this before rolling it, but
Sure.
I was gonna have Mirth attempt to come up there with Brom and also have a go at perceiving. And I think, let's see, I got a 22.
That's a better.
Nice.
That's perceiving.
It's because of your shiny armor, like lighting things
You're
up more.
you're
Like,
seeing more
helping
good.
me. Seeing more because of you.
So I have tossed
Maybe.
you down onto a map just so that we can have a little bit of visual. I'm gonna put you, yep, right there's fine, and that's the level of this that you're on.
Oh.
They blocked out all the information that actually helps understand how far you are. Token layer. Mirth, as you look up ahead at this building, you get a little bit of a better look at it, whether you know what to look for, or somehow your eye just traces it a little bit better than the others. You see this blocky stronghold. It seems just completely bereft of warmth or charm or aesthetic of any kind. There's no beauty there, just utility. It juts out of the hillside in a rough crescent shape. Only part of its construction is visible. The rest is buried in the cliff itself. A large set of double stone doors appears to be a main entrance directly ahead of you, about 100 feet or so. The terrain leading to it is gently upward sloping, covered with fresh snow, and down below there's a stream that flows out of a barred culvert, just a little bit northeast of the main entrance. The waterway has frozen, and 2 other barred openings can be seen along the north wall.
Barred openings? I'm
Yep.
going in.
Barred
Tish.
openings.
That's
So-
exactly what I was thinking. Like, I know he means like with bars, but I'm like, nope, we have a bard.
The
in
bard
there.
opening.
This.
Mirth is going to describe and be like, oh, I see brutalist architecture in a rough crescent shape with 2 stone doors and some barred entrances down these slopes.
and you've seen well enough that there also what at first just appeared to be a boulder in front of you looks like it's a building of some kind.
Oh, does that look like a building to you?
I say we
Affirmative.
go in.
Brom
Brom.
squints at it like, don't know.
Brom, it does
I
not
thought
look
you
like a
permitted.
building to you.
I thought you said
You just-
sprints at it, and I was like, Brom. You said sprints.
No.
I was like,
Here we go.
Brom. Well, you're
Squint.
supposed to be the thoughtful one. Okay. Yeah.
No, he's just squinting at it, and then he kind of like looks at. He doesn't say anything, but he's just kind of looks at it like with a head tilt, like it's like when someone shows you a painting and they're like, actually, it's a cottage in summer, and you're like,
Yeah.
Really?
Rorschach
okay,
test.
don't see anything.
Oh no.
That's what it looks like.
Oh. Neil's gonna be
All right,
like,
I suppose let's
I think we should go in.
go. All right, let's start approaching. So,
Sure.
I'll just start making my way that way.
Making my way downtown.
Making my way. Are the doors to this building barred?
I have a question. I noticed that I'm at like half health. Have we regained hit points since last session?
Yes.
Yes, you would have had
Okay.
you started the session with a
I was like, oh no, us.
I was like, this is gonna be bad otherwise.
as you near that building, Azaris, you hear a sound from within. Who goes there?
Like he kind of draws his greatsword and says, "We are not alone."
I see that, but who are you?
He'll turn back to his friend and say, "There appears to be a voice inside."
What are you doing out
Brom-
here?
We're investigating some thefts in the town, and we followed footsteps out here.
We're looking for a thief. I'm Sir Brom Rowan Lee. He says, and he does like a very slight bow.
Mirth curtsies. I'm Mirth Immaculate.
That's wonderful. There's no thieves here. Go away.
But that sounds exactly like what a thief would say.
That's true.
You know, I'm not a very smart robot, and I think even I would think that.
Are you calling
Brom-
me a thief?
No.
Are you the
no,
thief?
I'm saying there are tracks that are going to the settlement, he says, and he points in their direction.
Yeah?
We're gonna have
Yeah.
to ask you to let us in.
What?
Let us in.
No.
My compatriot spoke very clearly, Azarus says.
Well, wait a minute. Maybe not into his house, this individual's house, but into the big moon castle. Do you know how to get into the moon castle?
What? What are
The
you
big old rock.
talking about?
Maybe if you came out here, you'd understand better.
You see this face appear by these bars just at the edge of the lantern that Brom has. Very big, bushy eyebrows, very unkept beard.
That's dwarf.
There's a charcoal tint to the skin.
Oh, a Snurf? No, wait.
Hmm.
Snurf, not one.
No, you can't come in. You need to go away.
But if we didn't go away,
You would freeze to death in the cold. I don't understand why that's
Or-
my problem.
We're not here to fight. We're just looking for the owner of these tracks.
I'm here to fight personally. I don't know about y'all, but
It's true.
I
We
woke
got
up
like
with
Brom
half
is
an
said
hour
Brom
left
just-
for combat.
Yes. Brom gestures to the tracks in front of them. We followed these for almost 2 hours now. We are only looking to find justice. Please. Oh, can I roll a persuasion check?
You can.
All right. Oh, it's going to be so bad.
You got this. I
you're
believe.
gonna do great.
I
You
believe.
got this.
I believe.
I believe. I believe. I believe.
I believe in a thing called love. Look at that!
Please be good. Yes!
Did you see me mouth that? Because that's exactly what I saw. While we- okay.
You guys were dubbing. That's what happened just then.
Listen, you can
Good
you can
teamwork.
come into the outpost right here and we'll discuss it, but there's no need to come any further than that. And a side of this boulder-appearing building pushes open ever so slightly. And standing there is about a 5'2" duergar with a pick on his hip and a hand axe in one hand, or a crossbow in his hands. He goes, "Come in, hurry up." I'm just gonna
First curtsies again on the way in.
I'm big enough. Is the door big enough to fit me?
It'll be fine. You can.
Cool. I'm going in then. I was gonna say, I'll stand outside if I have to. I don't get cold.
I sent from outside.
I wonder if Azarus has some like slight transforming abilities. Like, can he like inset his arms a little bit to fit into different places, like a tortoise or something?
Well, yeah, he does get like, you know, like when the metal garters are stored, they kind of like compact a bit, so he can like tuck in his shoulders a little bit and like bring in his arms just a tiny bit for some compacting.
Because he can technically, any medium-sized creature can technically compress themselves into a small hole, right?
You can get in fine. It's all right.
I'm in here. What's up,
Sorry.
folks?
There, I'll toss you in.
So he is. I'm sorry. So he is a dwarf.
He is a duergar.
A duergar. What's the difference?
Duergar is like an underdark
An
version.
underdark dwarf.
Okay. So he's a really tall dwarf.
Jeez, don't stereotype,
It's-
bro.
It's a dwarf on dark mode.
It's a dwarf in dark mode. Taking a look, their skin is more stone-like than flesh-like. They seem to be much more connected to the earth. So looking at his face, as you look closer, there is almost a granite-like pattern to his skin.
That's so lovely. Your skin. It's like
What?
granite. It's nice. It has marbling and it's very nice.
Okay. Now, what do you want? What questions could you possibly have?
Have you seen any suspicious activity going on?
Yeah, there are 5 weirdos showing up in the middle of nowhere.
Anything except for that?
Metal guard greatsword like slams down next to the duergar. He kind of like leans down and like Azarus like leans down and just goes, "You will not speak to him that way."
Hey,
Ro-
we
It's okay,
can all
Azarus.
get along.
Roll an
It's okay.
intimidation
This is
check.
fine.
I'm on it. I have really bad charisma though, so this might not go well. Big scary robot. I got an
He's a
11.
little scary.
It's
It
middlingly
Like-
scary.
tilts his head and looks at you. You came here, are making vague accusations of people around here based on nothing but you found tracks from town,
Hey, no one
and
accused yet,
you
buddy.
want what exactly?
Want to
Sorry.
find answers.
Because of the blizzard, the tracks can only be a few hours old tops, and we were hoping that you would be able to share some information with us on that.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping the sun would come up this morning too.
That's really optimistic of you, friend.
I take it back. Duergar would never have said that.
Yeah, no, I was like,
As soon as I said it, that went out.
Oh, it sucks.
we're gonna retcon that.
And I was hoping I'd wake up in my own bed this morning instead of in this hellhole.
Well, is there any way that we can take you back to your own bed? We seem to be offering a lot of people rides homes recently, so
We're like Uber.
yeah.
Need nothing from you.
All right,
No.
just the offers on the
Wait,
table.
speaking of, where are the kobolds right now?
They ran.
They
They
ducked
went
into
to
an alley
town.
once they
Oh,
got to
right.
town.
Okay, cool. Just making sure they're okay. I'm
You,
sorry.
you
we
unleashed
are-
6 kobolds on Caer-Konig, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say
be fine.
They'll
we're
be
taking
fine.
we're taking care of invisible thieves right now, but we definitely loosed half a dozen more.
They'll be fine. We
They're
can
not
track those
thieves. That's stereotyping.
Mirtha's gonna say, Mirth is actually kind of giggling at how wonderful. Mirth is just delighted by the fellowship completely. Like these little demonstrations of everyone's like earnestness to help, and Mirth is delighted to be part of the group. And Mirth will look at this individual who we really are haranguing a little bit in a small space and say, I think maybe we got off on the wrong claw. I'm sorry. Lane's right. We were just trying to get a little more information before the trail goes cold. And if you live up here, do you live up here?
Mirth, do you want to roll another persuasion check? Because I don't
Can
remember
I?
if there's
Yeah,
stats in this
Yep.
game.
Because
That be relevant?
Yep, I was gonna say go ahead.
we have 3 very high charisma casters here. We should use them.
Yes, please go ahead and
Someone was the
24.
that's not
Increase-
8 do something.
24.
Hi. We have a bard, a paladin, and a warlock. Let's use
Walk
them.
into a bar.
Somehow
And a
Brom's
Neo.
sexiness is his highest stat. I'm just like, how does this
Yeah.
work?
Hey,
Well, charisma is
charisma is
more
not
than your
sexy.
looks. It's like your kindness, your force of personality, whatever it may be. It's not just Instagram selfies.
I
Maybe
think his
that,
That isn't
Instagram
charisma.
selfies.
More than just being an Instagram baddie, okay?
Okay, his Instagram pictures would be terrible. It'd be like those like horrible.
The Facebook mom photos.
Yeah,
It'd
or,
be
yeah, or like
This is a picture of a rock I found on my walk today.
yes,
like
that would be it.
That's
like
what it would
not
be.
sexy.
I just
It's
imagine
like-
Brom having like a dad's Instagram, just like it's Thursday, feeling great. Just like a random selfie, like
It's
in the
just a
car
picture
with
of him on the walk.
sunglasses on.
Oh my god, Foxy, you got it.
two
Oh, it's so true.
two
though.
things. There is a moment when you remember in the tight space of the cabin on the mountaintop yesterday, when Brom was peeling off all his armor, there was something about it you just couldn't take your eyes away. There was a connection there. So that, first off, that's where Brom's charisma is. And second,
It's his socks.
it's his socks.
On the socks.
It's his pheromones.
And
All right, please no.
Second, the
Ew.
the
There goes
Durgar
myself out.
the
Because
Durgar
giggles.
the Durgar looks at Mirth and says, "I'm stationed here. That's all you need to know. Nildar's brought us here to keep an eye on
Hold up.
things." What?
Hold up. Stationed by who?
Nildar.
Do I know who that is?
No clue.
I know who that is.
Okay. So I was gonna say, what if this is all a conspiracy theory of like the town leader is like, yes, you're stationed out there, and then forgot that he stationed them there, and so he thinks that they're thieves.
I'd be right.
Nildar.
That'd be good.
I'm not from around here.
Yeah.
Is
not-
Nildar important?
Will be. You'll learn soon enough. Is
What
there
is that
anything else
supposed to
before
mean?
you go?
Now that sounds like a threat.
No, not a threat. Absolutely not a threat.
Ah,
Just kind
Is there
people
any way we can
helping
meet
each other
this-
out.
Is there any way we can meet this Nildar?
I can pass a message, but you'll have to wait here.
All right.
why?
I
Ours
don't know
looks
if
sort of
Nildar will
curious.
want to meet you.
Well, Mirth is looking at Brom, sort of like, why? But then it kind of occurs to him. He's like, oh, so we can ask Nildar? Is that the idea? Okay.
Yeah, because if this is the leader, then he can ask him, like, be like, hey, I come from the settlement. We're investigating this, and there are some
We can
fresh
pay
tracks
him.
here.
For his time.
Yeah. That is true. We have a loan.
Money talks.
He does talk.
And we have so
Teacher's
much.
got to
of it.
repay, though.
And alone,
We have a
can work the
credit
stock right now.
card, cash or credit.
We do.
What's your Venmo?
Hey, Cash App, I can hit you up.
You all wait here. I'll be back and see what Nildar says. Who should I say is asking?
So Brom, Rowan, Layden, and Lane.
Hold. Okay.
Lane, you gotta like
Yep.
do your whole. You gotta do your 10 name Aragorn thing.
I don't have 10 names. I have one name, and it's Lane.
Do you
No.
mean
Stop
the
that.
legend, the one, the only? And Mirth is like, oh my time has finally activated. It's like a Rocky Horror Picture Show when you say
Oh,
a thing and there's an
no.
audience callback. Mirth just can't shut up about it, and he gives a little ditty about Achilles' Laneheart. The hero of the lands returned at last to bring sunlight to everyone's heart.
Mm-mm.
By the title.
And Yeah. He poses at the end and waits for acknowledgement.
That's
I don't.
wonderful.
Neo claps.
And gets nothing.
Neo is
thanks.
clapping.
That's all that I need is Neo's validation.
It was also just kind of like,
The duergar is going to go over to the door that they opened previously. Say, apologies, protocol, and turn a lock in the door from a key, big heavy iron key on his side.
The door that we came in through, or a diff?
Yep.
Yes. I'll be back shortly, and then
That
opens a
ain't
trap
protocol.
door. Opens a trap door in the floor.
I would like to insight check that it's protocol, because we
Okay.
just got locked in here, and
Roll.
that's sus.
Roll
I mean-
insight.
it's only a lock if you're not strong enough to break it.
Look, that's the spirit, my dude. That's an unnatural 20.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
So, you get the sense that the duergar is uncomfortable with you being here, confused by how things have gone, a little, maybe not disgusted with himself, but he kind of has that look of someone that got talked into doing something that he shouldn't be doing.
The instant regret face, yes.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
you know, as to whether it is protocol or not, you'd have no way to insight if it was protocol, but you do get the sense that he's trying to dig himself out of a hole he's not sure how he got in at the moment.
All right.
He turns and says, I'll be back in a moment. Opens the trapdoor and closes it behind him.
I would like to go instantly pick that lock.
Okay.
Oh, I
Just
was
so
gonna
that we
smash it.
have a way out. No, because that would show that we don't trust them.
Oh, I meant like if we decide to leave, I would just smash it on the way out.
I know, I just want to already have it ready for us to leave
Have at
just
it.
in caseies.
I
But
might
I
still
don't
smash it. I can't promise, but go ahead.
Here's where Nefer's thinking, like, I don't want them to know that we have unlocked ourselves. But I want to unlock ourselves.
That's fair. No, it's a genius plan. Go for it. I'm just saying, when the time comes, the door might still come off its hinges. That's
I mean,
certainly a possibility.
fair and valid. If you get your feelings out that way, you do that.
There is the trapdoor closes. You hear another click that comes from the trapdoor. And that is where we're going to end for this week.
Okay.
Oh, no.
We're in a little
Trapped.
room.
Trapped.
Fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
So thank
this
you,
got
chat,
away from us.
for sticking around. We're going to be here for just a little bit longer for any comments, questions, concerns, conundrums, or qualms that you want to lift up. So if you have anything you want to ask, feel free to do so, and we will look to reach out to answer it.
Yes, please.
And the same for everyone here. You know, this is a good time to kind of stop and chit chat about, you know, how the session went, how things went, what you're planning, what you're thinking. What the plan was is kind of what I'm thinking at this point.
Did we
but,
have one?
No.
No.
So
I mean, we had the plan to find the guy. It just once you find the hidden fortress, it becomes a Kurosawa film, and we're not really sure what we.
I don't know what that means.
Oh,
Now I really do feel old.
I'm sorry.
ancient.
valid question from chat. Does anyone have a plan during module week?
Okay, as half of the brain
That's
cells of
plans.
modules week, no.
Well, I mean, I usually do have a plan, but I don't think any of us were thinking that we'd be entering Hidden Fortress here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think we
No,
were hoping
not
to
really.
find like 3 thugs.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking like I honestly thought like, all right, as soon as we make it to like this like valley like with like rocks all around us, I'm like, all right, ambush, got it. Like
We're gonna find those stone trolls arguing over some dwarves. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, that would be fine.
yeah, I
That
was
would be
super prepped for
fine.
that.
At
But
this point,
no,
we're
I
gonna
And then it
have
didn't
to-
happen.
Work to fight people because we're so good at like getting our weird little selves into these problems. I don't know how we do it. We have a giant robot, a lizard, a bunch of weird people
it's
we're
just it's
just
all
like-
happening, you know.
The guy
It's
with his hair on
sliding
fire.
around.
This
Oh,
happened.
how could I
Yes.
forget?
And it's like, oh my god, you know what? I hate my life now. I just realized that they're all anime characters.
Oh no!
No!
Yeah.
No, why is
I
this a
hate
no?
myself.
This is a yes.
No, that
Time
is
to,
a
time to
no.
redo our icons, guys.
No,
Yes.
No, we're legit definitely like a shonen anime group. It's actually pretty great.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, yeah, they're totally like a shonen anime group. Like we
Yeah.
got every type. Like it's not even like any
the
of them
fearless
are
child
like weird.
protagonist, obviously.
Yes.
Yep.
I don't know what this is.
Giant
Explain
robot.
this to me.
We've got the giant robot, yeah.
Giant robot, the giant dumb robot. Gotta have that.
We have the Heart of Gold paladin, who's very solemn.
Yes, we have that. He's one of the muscular dudes, and then we have like the cool dude with high cheekbones. And then we have like he's got
Wait,
they got like
I'm
the
cheekbones?
Yeah,
Or
it's
you
always
cheekbones?
one good-looking
You're
character
Yes,
that everybody
you're
just
cheekbones.
sims
I'm
after.
cheekbones.
That's you.
Okay.
Yes,
That's-
you're the one that looks kind of villainy, but like you're a good guy.
That's
You've
accurate.
got,
No,
the
I'm
snark,
I'm the big
elevating
bad.
to hero.
snark character. Yeah, exactly. Just a touch, and you're like you know all the things, but you don't share them. And then there's shonen kid who usually has something funky like fire hair. And then you have the furry.
How
Come
does,
on,
That's
you
fun.
know it's true. You know it to be true.
how does it feel
Can
to
I
be?
be more than just the furry?
The
Can I be like
furry.
also another trope too?
Oh, just like-
I want to be known for more than
Yes,
my...
you're the comedic relief who's also a furry.
The fan service
It
furry.
didn't get better.
The
They don't
fan
make it any
service
better.
comedic relief furry.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
No.
Who's
Thanks,
also
guys.
flamboyant.
Nah, you're like,
I'm-
who's also
you're like
flamboyant.
the,
Turning in my
Poor
sheet.
thing.
what's the
Next
how do you're like
Thing.
you're like
I
the
regret.
Kuwabara of the group. If it's a Yu Yu Hakusho,
Yeah.
You're a Meshi.
you're the Morocco if we were Inuyasha. You're the
Yes.
you're the Krillin if it's a Dragon Ball Z. You know, you're great, super important moments, but you're also hilarious.
See, no, hold on. You went to
Exactly.
Krillin, and I was uncomplimented.
Hold on.
That's literally.
I was like, yeah, okay, I could deal. I could
There will be
stand.
no Krillin slander here. Krillin is an amazingly important character, and he gets
When?
who's arguably like the greatest, like the most developed woman character in the show, and he ends up with her. Like, so I'm gonna say over, like, honestly, I think Krillin won. If we're gonna talk about overall, I'm just saying.
Yeah. My wife.
He still sucks.
I need convincing. You can leave your thesis on my desk.
I will happily debate the merits of Krillin anytime.
I need your 1,500 words on my desk by the end of the weekend, before Monday morning. So,
No,
but
I
that
will
does.
space.
No idea what that meant.
I have
Any
to
of
say,
that.
I am sorry for the slight lack of roleplay moments with me. I was like trying to find like places I could slide in, but the
Do
interaction with Neo just felt so like cute and in groupy. I'm like, I'm just gonna let this happen. This is so, I have to let this happen.
You don't have
We'll
to
get you
apologize for
character
that.
with him too.
No,
yeah.
no, please don't apologize. It was adorable. I loved it. Please
We'll
don't.
get you. Don't worry.
Yeah, no,
We'll
but-
get to
but,
you.
like, yeah, it's totally fine. I wanted to like say like I wasn't trying to be quiet or anything. I didn't know if people didn't think that or
Oh,
anything.
you did great.
No, I
Oh
think
no,
that
I was
Okay,
quiet
you're
the entire
perfect.
episode. I love like quiet moments with characters because it's such a real thing for somebody just to be quiet.
Yeah, no,
If they
seriously.
have like nothing to say, especially in the moment with the mood. So like I love quiet moments and quiet characters.
Word.
there's a lot to be said also of Neo just dealing with what, you know, you told
Yeah.
us that you wanted Neo to deal with, where he went from the super talkative, happy-go-lucky to barely saying anything. So
Yeah.
I was a little sad to see that go so soon, but also I'm very excited to see, because you were like, oh, okay, I'm gonna process this now, and like now you're on your road and it's good.
I am ready for shonen anime protagonist Neo. I'm
I
so
don't
ready
know.
for it. I cannot fully like explain the depth of happiness I have for this. I'm so ready for it.
He's
So-
surely
Shonen
going to
anime
pull a Naruto.
I need it. I need
Yes.
believe it, Neo. Please give me.
Date Bayo.
there is something interesting, you know, the coming into this fortress, and you had mentioned I thought there would just be 3 bandits and they would ambush us and that would be it. And one of the things that I wanted to do with them is, you know, what if the bad guys don't just shoot you on sight? What are you supposed to do then?
Yeah,
Especially when you don't even have any reason to say that they're the bad guys. I mean, is it obvious
No, I
that
mean-
the
They locked us in the entry
Are they
room,
bad?
okay?
No, that's
It's
the thing.
suspicious.
The entire we followed these tracks out here. People have been stealing stuff. A grumpy guy there that just doesn't want to answer any questions. A little hostile, but not overtly hostile.
We're the hostile ones.
It's
Literally.
true. We're
Just
being,
like-
we're
I have
being
nothing
dumb.
but.
We
like,
invited ourselves to
understanding.
his fortress, and it doesn't even seem like it's him who took the stuff, because it's not going to his little house; it's going to the other entrance.
Well, he a little
So-
sus. He a little-
Honestly.
You little sus.
There is
I feel like-
so-
No, the station there thing made me think maybe he's like a guard or like a you know like a something like that. So I was like,
Mhm.
definitely sus.
Oh, I forgot to unhide him. He actually has a name. No,
He
Perilou
does?
does.
What's his name? Is it Carl?
Is it?
I don't know.
Carl.
Carl Sharks as opposed to Carl Parks.
Little
Because-
Bubby. Just again, we all need names of this convention.
Brozg. His name is
Good
Brozg.
deal.
That's
Oh,
I like that. That's a
cute.
nice name.
Oh,
That is. It's
Long
a good
name.
name.
he's cool.
I'm a
So
fan.
So
but
talking.
that
since-
was something that I kind of wanted to, you know, it's a question I've had as a DM ever since the encounter with the goblins in our second session or first session, because it is the question of, okay, this is D&D, it is a very ominous looking fortress that is an hour and a half outside of town, and people are stealing stuff from town. I mean, like, yeah, that's it. They're the bad guys. Everybody, D&D logic, they are the bad guys. We all know it. I'm not hiding it. I won't even deny it. But what happens when they let you in and never give you any reason to attack them? So this might be something that isn't fair to all of you, because it's almost an experiment on my part.
No,
No,
D-
that's-
so.
Well, I think-
Here's the thing: D&D is tricky as a system
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it is
seriously.
very much not conducive to roleplay, and it is not conducive to nuance. D&D is a fun system; it's a shared cultural language that tabletop geeks have. But the questions that you're posing are fantastic, and I think it's great to do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard. D&D doesn't leave, like, murder hoboism is staple. People dying, people killing, like, that's just assumed. One of the things I ask my players, and Jared can attest to that, is, have you murdered someone before? Have you killed someone? And, like, what was that experience like if you have? And if not, like, let's go through that. And D&D is really, like, I love that you are giving us an opportunity a couple of times now to have more nuanced interactions with other people,
Yeah.
other sentient species,
Yeah.
before we kill them.
Yeah,
You
because
know, like-
before we kill them, perp.
No, I mean, that's
Yeah.
But like, think about like the monsters know what they're doing. Like, you know, that book is all like, hey, some people have developed frontal lobes, so they can be tactical and they can have their own motives and stuff. So yeah, they're gonna do actions that aren't just I see, I shoot.
Yeah, I think that's what
And
separates
that's
like
good.
I think that's what separates good encounters from like just kind of your everyday ones. Is like it's like seeing that like, oh right, I'm not just like fighting NPCs, like I'm fighting genuinely intelligent creatures. Like it kind of it makes it feel like in some instances like you're fighting other players. Like you have to genuinely think about these things, you know?
The stakes.
I mean, I
I
think
Yeah,
think it's
exactly.
really
It's
good.
like I can't just run at this guy and like chop my sword at him a bunch. I have to actually think about it a little bit.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, this
I
is
think
great, Dane.
Yeah.
It's
I
making
just-
good
Especially with-
choices.
as the
Yeah.
session went on, I just kind of hoped I wasn't overindulging myself any. So
No.
I
Honestly,
wanted to,
like as a, it's even like something I try to like work into role play because like when I think about like I've been trying to like work into the idea of like Azarus having like sort of like inbuilt like aggression protocol. So he has these like moments of like not so much violence but just like aggression where it's like he just kind of can't hold it necessarily. And so having moments where it's like I feel like we're about to get into combat, so I get aggressive in character, and then everyone's like, whoa, okay, we're not fighting yet. Like that feels really authentic almost.
Can I throw the halfling? Can I throw the halfling? Can I
I
throw
mean,
the halfling?
the
Granted, half of that was out of character because the halfling just annoyed the hell out of me. But I can imagine.
Slower.
Yeah, but like I even felt like
You-
even like in character, like Azarus might have moments of like, okay, maybe I don't feel like annoyance in the same way, but just like this slight feeling of like I want to throw this small creature far away from me, bit like right now. Like I,
Mhm.
so yeah, I enjoy like being a combat focused character, but having like full non-combat sessions, it does like kind of force you to like play the character out more, which I like a lot.
Yeah.
The Perilou was the other side of basically this session. This session was between the session was how do you interact with the the person you rescued who you wish you didn't afterward. How do you interact with the people that are bad guys and they're bad guys, but there's not a real reason to do anything about it? And how do you deal with an authority figure that has absolutely no reason to be in that position? Who, there is no reason to believe Trovus as the speaker and what he's saying, but so far, you have found a duergar and tracks of dwarves and stuff has been stolen. So far, Trovus is 100%.
All right, you go, dude.
So far.
Yeah, I still keep having it in the back of my head, just like, what if this all ends up just being coincidence and the guy's just like wrong? Like I didn't want to say it because like I felt like there's no reason why Azarus would think that like out loud, but I kept thinking in the back of my head just like, what if we're just getting duped right now and we don't even know it? Like,
yeah.
So that it's possible, but I was just saying it's possible, but I mean, if you think about it, like, I guess like people, unless like we're going into as a mob to murder, should like go murder someone. I mean, I don't see why they would storm the gates for some food that's being stolen. I mean, it implies that people are hungry. It's not like they've murdered a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, whoever stole it might have had good reason. We're not necessarily coming to like grab them and drag them off to arrest them or anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
We just want to answer the I almost said the seeker. Wow, the speaker's question, which is, who's stealing the food, and how do we get them to stop? Which, hopefully we might be able to help with. Otherwise, we may just find the answer to our question. Hopefully. Mm-hmm. Although in some ways it kind of, when you talked about like going in and murdering a bunch of the duergars for stealing food, it's both like kind of les miserables, like super overkill for food theft, and two, it kind of reminds me of, if anyone's seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail, that scene where like Lancelot like slices through into the entire castle and like ruins the wedding.
Yep.
And then gets there and realizes that he's killed everyone who was going to attend a happy wedding. Anyways.
Yep. No, it's
so that's where we're gonna be next session. We're just gonna like kill our way through this dungeon crawl and be like, oh, these weren't the right people.
If it happens, it happens.
Yeah, I'm waiting for like I'm waiting for like the roleplay moment of like you all seeing Azarus activate his conquest mode for the first time, and like because I've managed to like settle out like what like his personality shifts to in that, and like it's not just like berserker rage mode. It's like I don't know, I have it in my head, so I kind of want to see how you guys react to it when it happens. So I'm definitely excited to like see how to play that out, like the moment it finally happens, because like I get like you all know like he's a war robot, but like you've all just seen him be like sweet and nice, so like it's like how are you guys gonna handle the moment of like seeing him actually be a war robot?
It'll be a cool narrative beat.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. There's so many beats we can hit as a group, and I think it's like it's so fun how these keep happening organically. I feel like I don't know. I like that as a concept. Like as someone like who game masters a lot, like seeing a group that kind of like just like keeps making like these moments happen organically is like really really fulfilling for me. I feel like I enjoy that.
It's what I love about when there's the conversations, the one-on-ones that do more character development than anything that, I mean, there is nothing as a DM I could ever do to develop characters. I can throw monsters at you and have you deal with them in different ways, but that's very different than, Neo found blue boots and doesn't know how to cope with the fact that death sucks. And for me, that makes the entire story much more interesting when Neo goes, yes, death does suck, and, I'm going to have to deal some out now.
Yeah.
And it's, it's a game and it's D&D, and Al is 100% right. D&D is made to kill stuff. That's the entire system. 85% of the rules on every single one of your character sheets is meant to kill stuff in some way and in different ways and give you ways to kill stuff.
Yeah.
So
If the only tool you give a man is like an axe, then they're gonna fucking use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, D&D's fun and nostalgic, but it's hard. One of the challenges I actually want to bring up during our decompression time here
Absolutely.
is just an observation. It just feels good to share. I imagine how it would be if we were all just hanging out around the game table. Like, how I'm sure there'd be like the classic like snacks, dice flinging, Dane behind the DM screen, like all of these things that we would have in a non-quarantine local experience are things that I keep in mind when I'm here playing with all of us. I like thinking about that, and that sort of brings some extra heart to it. One element that's challenging is specifically vulnerability in play while performing.
Yep.
And while being live is very tricky. I find that my improvisational, my ability to switch to more nuanced interactions is actually impaired because I'm trying to be thoughtful and failing often. So I apologize and getting my feet and trying to give other people more airtime. That's one of my goals going forward. But is trying to figure out how can you have these moments of connection while still passing the ball as much as possible, and getting that one-on-one time without it feeling as though you're depriving airtime to other players. It's tricky, creating these bonds. So I don't know, how do you all feel about one-on-ones? How do you handle it? What's your perspectives?
I think what we're doing is good. I'm gonna escape to go find my new best friend, the baby. Speaking of, you guys can continue speaking, but on Neo's subject from earlier on, I'm gonna bring down a baby bunny and I'll talk about
Baby.
that.
okay.
Oh my god,
Sounds
yes.
Good.
God, the baby
go ahead,
bunny.
I was just gonna say, this is not the first group that I've been a part of where we literally go into chat and schedule one-on-ones that we want to have with people.
Yep.
And I think that's so cool because it points to intentionality of I want to have such and such talk with Leaf and with Soul at this point in Strahd or whatever, and it shows we're actually thinking about what our characters would do and stuff and what is in character for us, and kind of planning ahead gets us to, okay, I do want to talk to this person and I want it to be these things, and that kind of, at least for me, when I reserve one-on-ones, it makes me think more about how can I get my character across and how can I deepen that baby bunny.
The bun.
Ah.
All right, if
No,
we're doing it, we're
look
doing
at his big fluffy nose.
Can I get my python?
Cute.
it. Little Alpha. We're doing littles, then we're doing.
Aw,
Hi, kiddo.
so tiny.
Oblige.
So,
Oh,
Um,
babies.
so the subject of what Neo was talking about was actually near and dear to my heart, because I work in a job with lots of animals, and sometimes tragic stuff happens. Every time we have an animal that has something going on and the owner can't take care of it, we always have to make decisions on what to do. And, oftentimes we try and help them, either help the owner or help the animal. And sometimes it doesn't work out. No matter what we do, they die anyways. And
Context,
sometimes
guys, he's a vet. Just so
yes.
Yes.
just so you know.
And
Yeah, that's
sometimes
important.
and sometimes it works out.
Yeah.
So this little guy.
Can this little guy come back forever? Can this
Well,
permanent cast member?
Can
well,
we get a character sheet made?
Stop
is-
adopting
he's-
people into the
Prop-
campaign.
This is
Proper.
little Bubby.
We did
This
it
is little
again.
Bubby.
Proper said I can't
Let's
add
make
more
a
frames.
spreadsheet for all of our cute chibi things that we've collected.
So
yeah.
touching on what Al had shared about the one-on-ones and how those tend to feel, and then Nif also pointing out we've scheduled them in different games before.
I love that.
Something that works out very nicely, and it's the balance between playing as though we're sitting around a table just having fun, which is what I really love, and also being aware we are putting on a show. There's we put this together with the hope that people watch it and enjoy it. but every table has its own mood, and every table has its own rhythm that it gets into. And something that I've noticed in a lot of tables is that the one-on-one time becomes kind of I looked down and there were the 9 messages in the Discord, and I was like, oh no, what I missed is something go wrong. It's like, no, I want to talk to Neo. No, I want to talk to Neo. I want to talk to Neo. What ends up happening?
I'm Spartacus.
Yeah, I am Spartacus. What ends up happening is that that allows to shine a light on that one character, that one player, and allows everyone to interact. And the way that ends up getting chosen ends up working out in ways that do make sense. I mean, it would make sense at that tavern to sit down with Neo and go, Neo, it's been a day, and you've had a day, and we need to talk. That allows one-on-ones to happen in a way that really shines a light on individual characters. So I don't think it leads to anyone talking over or taking up too much time or too much screen time, because it points people toward that story beat that gets highlighted by it.
Yeah.
And
So
just a shout out, I feel like every D&D or like any TTRPG table should have a player like Mirth. Like they're just like a character like Mirth adds so much to like the role play of a group, and that and the way like you play Mirth, Al, and the way like we have these moments where like there's not a lot of like role play or like anything happening. You kind of like pick up like an NPC.
You do. You just call us out.
Like, all right, like, hey, you over here, what's going on? And like, especially like for me, like for someone who like hopped in with the intent of like just being here for a one shot last time, that you immediately went, okay, what's on this statue? What's going on? How can I interact with this? Like to immediately like to pull me in like that made me being able to interact with the group feel so much more natural. So I feel like every group should have a player like you, like that's not afraid to just like pull people in and like recognize like, oh, you know what, this person hasn't talked in a while, we haven't gotten any moments from them, let's see if I can pull them in like in character. And I think like the sort of like prepping of like, hey, I'm gonna have one-on-one time with you, like, or your character, helps a lot, especially because like sometimes if you're having those like super deep moments, it can be kind of hard to like say like the super like correct thing on the fly. So like if someone says like, hey, our character should sit down and talk about like what just happened, you kind of have an idea in your head of like, all right, we're probably gonna talk about these things. So you can kind of like come up with good one-liners in your head, or like make up some good responses, like, so the conversation is more natural and less like yeah, I guess that didn't go so well, huh? Yeah, I think, so I feel like it's super good to like, especially if you feel comfortable enough like prepping it as if your character wasn't aware the conversation was gonna happen. Like it can be helpful to like prep that small bit of information. Don't you eat my Pop-Tart, don't you do it.
Do it. So I appreciate that. So just to echo back what I'm hearing, it sounds like we can use the chat as a tool to ping moments when we want to have one-on-ones or circle back around to a conversation. Is that okay with the group?
Yeah.
That sounds like a good thing.
Always.
Yeah, totally.
Also, we should have one-on-one with Azarus at some point, just not when we're trapped in the Durgan fortress.
Yeah, I got so many war stories. I've killed so many people.
So
now we have to have a talk about that.
Literally.
Oh man, I will say, and I won't spoil it because it's so good that I have to use it. I was thinking about that when you asked like what are our regrets, and I was like, oh man, I probably gotta think of some good moments. And so I came up with like one really good line I have in my head that I'm absolutely gonna use at some point, and I cannot spoil it because it's just that good. So whenever that moment of roleplay happens, just know I have at least one good line prepped.
Good.
Nice.
Also, hopefully I won't keep this, so the reason that I circled back to, Neo's, oh my god, you're kissing me, stop it.
Never stop. Bunny.
Yeah, so when I kind of circle back to what Neo said, I like, about how he wasn't sure that he made a difference. It's a little personal to me because, we're always in that predicament ourselves.
It's gonna melt.
So we always hope so. We always hope we make a difference to someone. Especially the cute little baby bunny.
Oh, I just want to motorboat that rabbit.
Literally.
So cute.
Fighting a rabbit.
So cute. I named him Parva after the sea bunnies. Because he looks like a sea bunny.
But see, also name him Lil Bubby, and then he can stay.
How do you feel about all these animals?
Yeah, sorry, guys. I'm hoping
No,
to get it.
why would you clip that? No!
Yes! Yes! Yes!
The
No!
Yes!
No.
the last thing to bring up, and then we will pack it in for this evening, is kind of a question. So, it's strictly hypothetical, but it's not hypothetical. So, would it be easier on everyone if you all just walked yourselves into a trap of some kind? Or would you prefer things play out differently?
I mean, I like where we're at right now of like, wow, we are pretty sure we done messed up and now we have to get ourselves out. Like, I think that's going to make us grow as people and also maybe as players. I personally am like, nah, just forget the fortress thing and let's just go back to the tavern and keep role playing because that was fun.
Yeah, no.
I want to see.
I
I
mean,
want to see the robot fight.
yeah, I mean,
Same.
But also,
I would be
like,
fine with some combat only because we had none this session, so I wouldn't mind
yeah,
getting during next time. But
we did level up. We do need to flex our new stuff.
That's
So
true.
like,
I got-
there's
I got
on that
room.
hand, we got good stuff.
wait, are Lane's hands still on fire?
Yes, until we
Yes.
fight, Lane's
Sorry,
hands will
guys.
be on fire.
Hot
Let's
In
never
a
toddy.
fight.
combination.
Let's never fight. I have warm beverages
Fight.
forever.
It's so great.
Well, I will think about what to
Warm
do
hands.
with the warm hands.
And
Oh.
you know,
Hands, cold heart. Wait, what?
Penelope had a
Yes.
very frozen heart,
Hands
so
frozen.
that
Yeah,
counts.
that's true. She's
Yes.
done it. She's
Very well.
encapsulated.
She
Done.
never gets called her real name. I don't care what it is. She never
Perilou.
no
Perilou, yeah.
Periwinkle,
Oh yeah.
Penelope,
She's
Peridot.
just such
whatever.
a tourist.
I know.
I
Wow.
know how horrible.
She got
And-
worse and worse the longer more time you spend with her.
I'm just saying we could have avoided that if we just let me throw her. I'm just putting it out there. We could have.
You're right. No,
Problem
you're
would have
right.
been solved.
You were right,
Right.
the whole time. You were right.
You were.
You were right all along. Damn us.
He's
Damn
right and
our
he can say it.
short-sightedness. How dare
I
we
mean-
give her a chance, that cantaloupe.
She just needs a redemption arc.
Yeah.
So, and
Can we
as far
not
as,
keep her around for a redemption arc? Yikes.
I don't plan on doing anything with her unless you look for
Nope.
her. There was as far as combat sort of things, I do try and go combat heavy, combat light, combat heavy, combat light to some degree. If and it also depends on how you address things. So if Mirth had just gone to the kobolds by themselves, then Mirth probably was going to get jumped by kobolds trying to steal their stuff.
That's kind of funny.
So it also depends on how everything goes. So
Yeah, that was part of why I thought I would go with Mirth. 'Cause I was like, you know,
Oh,
we're still
don't
covered in
underestimate Mirth's smooth talking ability, especially with kobolds' relationships with.
oh that went
Dragonborn.
perfectly. I was amazed how
That
well
said,
that
I
went.
still could have gotten mugged. But
Oh,
that's
yeah,
why
I
we
was
bring the
amazed
giant
how well
robot.
you managed to like play the kobold situation out. That was really really impressive. But I was like, you know, there's still
probably
a
'cause you
possibility
were
that Mirth
behind
gets
me.
like jumped. I'm gonna go just back him up just in case. Maybe they'll be a little less inclined to mug him if they see a giant robot behind him.
Oh yeah, it was. I
I
didn't
was
get
just-
mugged because you and Brom were standing there, quietly stoic, staring.
Big slabs of metal just being like, hello.
What's up?
Yeah, I mean, figures that also, like, what if it wasn't kobolds? What if it was, like, something not so friendly?
What if
I
it
was
was
so
white
excited
goblins?
for a dragon. I was
Yeah,
Goblins.
white dragon, baby white dragons.
It was
I
a
was
little
like,
hopeful
oh
though.
god, here it comes.
I'm a little hopeful.
No,
I know they would
no,
have
not
murdered our asses,
hopeful at all.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I was just like, but what if it was though?
Wait, were you there for that campaign with the? Oh God, where we heard like something
On TPK?
Oh, maybe.
Oh, sorry, there was one really intense session. But anyway, I'm sorry, Jared. What were you saying?
Was it your campaign? Where one of them were like we heard someone talking, and then it ended up being like two baby something horrible, and they were like playing with a corpse, like making it talk. That wasn't
Oh,
your
okay.
game, was it?
That wasn't the Yeti, was it?
No.
No.
In our game.
No.
No.
That wasn't me. I had the man-eating green dragon.
Right. Okay,
That must have
never
been
mind.
something
Different game. Anyways, it was another horrible investigation where I was like, my brain nopes out of this.
That's a
Sometimes you
really
gotta.
good note for the Curse of Strahd campaign, so I appreciate that. So
Yeah,
No.
it was we heard some voices and we thought they were two people talking, but it was actually like two monsters like playing with skulls of humans, making them talk.
Yikes.
And then we were like, oh, you aren't friends. You're really not friends.
You're the opposite of friends.
You're something horrible. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Not die.
Well, if no one has anything else, then we
Yikes.
can pull the plug for the evening with that wonderful image burned into our minds
Okay.
before going to sleep.
Great way to end.
Whee!
I